bounces it down at the 7-yard line, where it is picked up by Kerr. And Kerr does not get a whole lot out of it. He actually will be given the mark just over the 20-yard line. They rolled him back for quite a while, but he did actually get it out beyond the 20. And so we go on an afternoon that starts hot, but will cool off as the shadows work their way across the horizon. Because this time of the year, the hot Santa Ana winds come in, you know, and it cools off in a hurry. Todd Marinovich coming out, who has been setting all kinds of freshman records as the year has worn along, and putting himself rather deeply already into the Southern California record book. And it's a record book that is filled with legend. Ricky Urbans, the tailback, and Leroy Hope is the fullback. And here's the first snap of this 5th night meeting between these crosstown rivals. Marinovich puts it up, lays it down the sideline. The pass is caught good at the 40-yard line by Gary Wellman, number 83. He catches the ball over one of UCLA's best defenders, Eric Turner.
Play-action pass on the first play of the ball game. I don't care who you are. Defensively, you don't expect this type of play. Obviously, something in the film study during the week. SC thought they could get it, and they did. It's a big emotional play for Southern Cal.
Southern California ideally would like to get out in front and then sit on the ball, because with their running game and the UCLA suspect defense, they might be able to do it. This pass is swung out to Urbans, and Urbans has become quite a good pass receiver out of the tailback position. He's knocked out of bounds down around the UCLA 29-yard line. And that's looks like and is a first down. So it's Holden Urbans, as we told you, with Wellman and John Jackson, the wideouts. The big people for Southern California. Now, Galbraith is the tight end, 6'3", 250. Harlow's 270, Parkinson 260, Leggett 270, Tucker 265, and Schultz 285. They're really not all that big, but they are quite quick. That last play goes down as a lateral pass and an 11-yard run. So he did not get any forward movement on his pass. The handoff goes to his tailback, Urbans. The Bruins really pursuing. I mean, they are loading up, and number 41, Stacy Argo, came firing from the inside backer position and laid a lick on him. The 3 down guys are Lodish 260, Pryor 250, and it's at nose tackle where they're very thin on experienced people. Uwala 270. The backers are Keaton, Davis, Argo, and Patton. Patton and Davis particularly outstanding. Carlton Gray and Dion Lambert are the corners. Matt Darby, and Eric Turner, the safeties, are both outstanding. Notre Dame has gone to the lead now over Penn State in their ball game. And Southern California, 3 wideouts, 2 at the top of the picture. And Marinovich is back, gets it away into the end zone. It's too long. The pass intended for Joel Scott out of Houston, Texas.
Southern Cal obviously has come out trying to take the emotional lift away from UCLA by throwing the football. They've thrown it very well. In fact, that last pass, well covered by UCLA, was a good throw by Marinovich just to throw it away. But Larry Smith wants to come out and not let UCLA get into this ball game. Try to take the emotional play away from them.
Larry Wallace is in there now. He's the man at the top of your picture. It is 3rd down and 10 as they go to the shotgun formation from the UCLA 29. Steps up into his pocket, throws it down the middle. The intended receiver falls down. Wallace, no flag. They got tangled up. Wallace is squawking over no call, but there is no flag. Eric Turner did not in any sense impede his progress. He just fell down.
Center of your screen. No, he trips himself. Wallace is 2 feet hit together, and it's a nice no call by the official.
So it is 4th down for USC. The ball at the UCLA 29, and they're going to go for it. Linesman comes in and stops him.
Keith, I think this is a good call. There are times when you get inside the 40-yard line, but you can't make a field goal. You may be able to make a first down. This is one of those times.
They indicate the timeout, though, is charged to UCLA.
have to drive it to believe it. The new Accord.
Hayden Fox taught me how to handle a loss, how to learn from our mistakes, and particularly how to figure out who to blame.
Coach returns this Tuesday after Roseanne.
We're back. UCLA called that last timeout. 4th down. Watch the player, the linebacker, right there in the middle of your screen call the timeout. They obviously were expecting a field goal. Southern Cal comes out going for it on 4th down. They said, wait a minute, we got the wrong people in here.
And the Trojans will go on 4th down. 4th and 10. No pressure. None. Ball thrown underneath. Pass is complete. Good for the first down at the 18-yard line. Scott Galbraith, the tight end.
Well, it's man-to-man coverage everywhere. Here's Galbraith, and he's going to be covered by the linebacker. Just going to run downfield and break to the inside. There'll be no linebackers anywhere because it's man coverage. Jams him at the line, bump and run. He fakes to the outside, tries to get across his face, and it's just a good throw, good coverage.
You give Marinovich that much time all day, Bob, and he'll score 100 points.
There's nothing like pressure on a quarterback.
Double tight end alignment now. They're going to run it with Irvins, and he'll get to the line of scrimmage, and that's about all. Mike Lodish, first man to get a piece of him. Marcus Patton, 49, pinched him inside. We'll see the Michigan Wolverines against the Ohio State Buckeyes at Ann Arbor next week. Both of them winning big today. And Ohio State is not out of it in the Big Ten.
They sure aren't. They've won, what, 6 or 7 in a row now. Started off not too well at the beginning of the year, but I'm surprised that John Cooper's done a nice job over there.
Yes, John Cooper's a good football coach.
Well, he wins that ball game. He may be coach of the coach of the Big Ten Coach of the Year.
2nd down and 10. Ball is swung out to Leroy Holt, the fullback, down to the 14-yard line where he is run down. Eric Turner got a piece of him, and so did Marcus Patton. And it's going to bring up 3rd down. You're going to have next week in that ball game 2 of the biggest offensive lines in the country. I mean, they'll be swapping paint down in the trenches in that one next week.
Well, John Cooper and Ohio State, he's done a great job. He took a little heat last year in Columbus for not winning immediately, but he's caught up this year.
This is a long 5 on 3rd down for the Trojans. First possession of the ball game. The pass has been the prime weapon. Marinovich puts it up. It's a lob to the corner. It is touchdown. Wellman. Got away from Carlton Gray.
Well, if there's a better first-year quarterback around than Marinovich, I haven't seen him. Watch this ball thrown the only place you can throw it. Guy is covered, throws it to the outside, and I'm not so sure that he gets his foot down. He catches the ball, no question, but does his body hit him bounds? No, I don't think so.
I think he's...
Knee hits right on the line. He was out of bounds.
Well, I was talking about the way they marked up these end zones. I mean, you don't know where the heck is it the front of the red or the back of the red or what?
Yeah, but that was...
He was out of bounds.
He was definitely on the line. His knee was the only thing that hit.
The kick is good by Gwen Rodriguez. The Trojans will take it. They go in their first possession out to a 7-0 lead over the UCLA Bruins, who have yet to get their hands on the football.
Xerox presents the Great American Torture Test. We challenge the bone-numbing cold of northern Alaska and intense city traffic. Traveled coast to coast to the suffocating heat of Death Valley and passed with flying colors. Xerox, because extreme conditions demand extreme protection.
Mr. Ian McKenzie. I'm Angus McKenzie. Ian's moved down the road.
Today,
with service to 175 countries.
Oh, you've been wanting in Alistair Mackenzie.
UPS delivers to nearly 4 billion people.
Also for Mackenzie.
Including the extraordinary concentration of Mackenzies along the northeast coast of Scotland.
Mr. Ian Alistair Mackenzie?
No trouble finding me, did you, lad?
No trouble at all.
UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
When the Bruins and Trojans met in 1967 here in the Coliseum, UCLA was unbeaten, ranked number 1. Trojans had lost 1, ranked number 2. Conference title, Rose Bowl, national championship, all at stake, along with a Heisman Trophy. There was a hero a minute, but O.J. Simpson took center stage in the fourth quarter with this run. SC won the game 21-20, the conference and the national championship, but UCLA's Gary Beeman won the Heisman Trophy. Juice got his the next year. Well, they've got another one to argue about in this old series. They sure do. Kevin Williams and Brian Brown, tailbacks, are deep now for UCLA. Bruins in white. And Runestrom will kick it off. Grant hits it, hangs it up there. It's drifting toward Brian Brown at the 9, and here he comes. Looks for his wedge and can't find it. Trojans cut him down hard at the 23. It's Deshaun Burns that got him. Let's go back to the touchdown. Is he in?
The official right there has a clear view of it. Does his knee hit first or does his foot? His knee hits on the line or outside of it. Here's another look at it. He has to have possession, and something of part of his body has to hit the ground inbound. Clearly out of bounds.
That one seems to certainly indicate he's out. Oh, well. It's on the scoreboard. It's academic, as they say. On first down, the Bruins mishandle the ball. Poor ball handling by UCLA. The pitch, Johnson to Williams, doesn't work. The loss on the play. Here's Jackaroot.
Well, Keith, you were talking about the end zone here and how the color combination is somewhat confusing. Here's approximately 5 yards of white, which is actually out of bounds. The outside edge of the red is the inbounds lane. So according to what you people have said and seen, possibly that pass was out of bounds.
Ought to just put a confounded simple black line around there if you're going to have white, so that there's no question about it, instead of all this decoration. Here comes Williams. Not much. Hits the sidelines at about the 18-yard line. Time remaining, 10 minutes and 52 seconds. Johnson, Brett Johnson, is the redshirt freshman, as we've talked about, the high school rival of Marinovich. Kevin Williams comes out of Texas. Mark Estwick is a junior from La Cañada. Sean Wills, a tailback, will be in there much of the day as well. The big people up front, and there's an All-American there in the middle in Frank Cornish. He and Meyer are the principal linemen for UCLA. The tight ends got 3 of them, and they're all very good. Brent Johnson, nervous feet, dancing around, unloads it to one of those tight ends, Arbuckle. And Arbuckle, trying for the first down, is close, depends on the mark. He had to get right about the 33, and I think he just got across 32, but it'll probably be close enough for the change. Change will come, I think. They have marked it first down.
Big first down for UCLA. Southern Cal defense.
Ryan Frugier Owens are the 3 down people. With Williams, Tuliau, Chesley, Sayal, the linebackers are all very active and very good. Veteran secondary of Garner, Coulter, Carrier, and Spears. Very good defensive football team. Brett Johnson gives it to Williams, cuts it back against the flow, and moves across the 40 near the 42. That was a good hard run. A widely heralded freshman when he came in. Got hurt a year ago, sat it out. Come back this year to give UCLA 3 very good tailbacks. But they have not been able to run the ball very much because the offensive front hasn't been able to open many doors for them.
Terry Donahue has gone with 2 tight ends to take advantage of the fact that you put a man in front of both outside linebackers, they can't get in the backfield. You see here 2 tight ends and 1 just flanked off the back, a 3 tight end set.
This is Williams again. And on second down and a yard, He picks up the first down, crossing the 45 before Michael Williams, one of the outside backers for the Trojans from Dallas, Texas, brings him down.
What UCLA wants to do is be able to run the football, something they have not been able to do all year long. They rank near the bottom in the Pac-10 in rushing the football. SC, on the other hand, is the leader in the nation in stopping the run. So UCLA is trying to do something that nobody else has really done on them, that is run the football.
Kevin Williams had a contact pop out of his eye. He's out of there. Brian Brown is in now at tailback for UCLA on their first down. And he promptly fumbles the football, and the Trojans promptly pick it up. So the Bruins play giveaway, and Southern California's Mark Carrier simply comes over and catches it on the bounce. And it's pretty sloppy ball here.
Well, it's sloppy, but the tailback thought he was getting a handoff, and Johnson pitches it. I don't think you'll be able to see it from this, but watch Johnson, the quarterback. He's going to pitch it. The tailback had his arm set to get a handoff. See, he had his hand up. That's Brian Brown.
Well, maybe he went the wrong way.
No, he didn't go the wrong way. Somebody just blew it. Either the quarterback was supposed to hand it, or it was, in fact, supposed to be a toss, and Brown blew it. But those are the types of things that happen when you're 3-7, and the spirit is not there. You make those silly mistakes.
Your concentration becomes a very elusive factor when you are thrashing around. No question about that. Here goes John Jackson, setting up to throw it left-handed. He's got Wellman down there, but the Bruins come back to cover very well on the play. Matt Darby winds up knocking the ball away. So they didn't fool him. In the first place, it was very slow to develop for them. And secondly, I think they might have smelled it coming from the very outset.
Well, this is really interesting. John Matsko, the offensive coordinator for Southern Cal, has come out on his first drive. It's wide open, throwing the football all over the place. First possession of the second drive, first play of the second possession, runs a reverse. He's obviously trying to jump out in front very quickly and not let UCLA in the ball game at all.
Second down and 10. Moravic's going to put it up again. He's got Wallace. He throws for Jackson. Wallace comes across, tries to make the catch in front of Jackson, and drops it. John was standing there all by himself. So Wallace defended Jackson on that play.
Well, the problem was Wallace stopped running. He was running a clearing route. Jackson was wide open and could have caught it.
It'll be third down and 10 now. Wellman comes back. Irvins leaves for Southern California. Holt is in there. That'll put him in a one-back set. 7-0 USC scoring off its first possession. Here they're looking at third and 10. Marinovic sets up. They run him out of the pocket. He's still going. He may have enough room for his first down. Nope, not quite. Couldn't turn it upfield, and the Bruins recovered in time to get him with the quarterback Dion Lambert playing the boundary side, making the tackle. So that brings up fourth down, and in will come the punter. The punter for Southern California will be Mark Preston, averaging just under 39 yards per kick. The deep man for UCLA, standing back at the 10. They're anticipating pooch kick, something high, wobbly, trying to kill it deep. They get it too. Now, Farr, rather than let Southern California kill it inside the 5, Fair catches it at the 10, and there UCLA will have the ball, but they better handle it better this time than they did the last time.
Show you all sides of the new Honda Accord, except one. You have to drive it to believe it.
You ever run up against a tough sign that's cold? As tough as it gets, maximum strength Gristan is tougher to sweep away congestion, pressure, and pain. And it won't make you drowsy. When you can't call in sick, call on Dristan.
Fiber that's pound for pound, 5 times stronger than steel, and is used in this bullet-resistant vest. Makes up the unique belt of Road Handler Treadlock radials. Great low prices, Road Handler tough. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
One Dry is brewed longer. One Dry is brewed from the most expensive ingredients. One Dry refreshes completely. One taste, and you'll know why. The One Dry is Michelob Dry.
Looking at the defensive alignment for Southern California, Craig Hartziker is in, replacing Junior Seau at an outside backer spot. Seau has bruised his right shoulder and is not in there at this point in time. UCLA now has turned it over, handled the ball very poorly in their first defensive possession. They start first down at their own 10, and Williams is the single back. Little pitch to him. He gets away from one man behind the line of scrimmage and was able to generate some pressure and get the ball up across the 15-yard line. Now we go to Roger Twibble.
Thank you very much, Keith. With Michigan already winning, Ohio State winning, Illinois trying to stay alive in the Big Ten after a fumbled punt by Indiana. Jeff George to Bellamy, 18 yards on the touchdown. And right now, between these two Big Ten teams, the Illini with a 7-3 lead. Back to Keith.
Thank you, Rod. Hey, we got one of those long rolling hook days, Roger. Get it down the right side, let it run down the hill. Hot and dry. Second down and 3. And it's first down for the Bruins as Williams again, that little misdirection move that he has, heading back across the grain, and he gets the first down. 7:04 to go in the first quarter. We'll pause here 5 seconds to allow our local ABC stations to identify themselves.
WPVI-TV Philadelphia, serving New Jersey and Delaware.
Now you can see the kind of day we've got in Southern California. First down for the Bruins, their own 21. Well, they've got a little breathing room now. Southern California leading here in the first quarter, 7-0. And it's going to be a loss of about a yard as the defensive front of Southern California just crashed and caved in the blocking of UCLA. There were about 3 Trojans there, and they just simply busted it open.
Looks like a rerun of the same play. Southern Cal is defensing it very well. UCLA is coming out with 3 tight ends, 1 back, and every time the last 4 or 5 plays just tossing it to their left, picking up some yardage, but UCLA wants to establish the run.
Misdirection on his own move, and they'll take him down. Michael Williams has the foot speed to outrun the UCLA quarterback, and that's exactly what he did.
Williams has played well all year. The only problem with Michael Williams, he's playing on a team with 3 defensive All-Americans from last year and another outside linebacker like he plays, Junior Seau, who has just been off the board as far as making plays, sacking quarterbacks, and doing whatever you want to do to make big plays.
It's third down and 9. Johnson back to throw it. Gets it off, and it's thrown into the crowd. I'll tell you one thing, he's got dancing feet. Scott Miller was the man down the sidelines, and he did not lock himself down, set himself, and let it go. Now let's check in with Jackaroo.
Well, Keith, as you said, Junior Seau has come out of the game. They've taken his shoulder pads off. They've iced his right shoulder down. The word from the trainers is that they hope to get him back in the game. There doesn't seem to be a lot of swelling. They're going to put a brace on him, and hopefully he'll be ready to play.
May not need him. Kurt Maggio, who is the top punter out here in the West, second in the nation. Trojans almost blocked it. And he mean, they almost blocked it, and now it is mishandled back here by Calvin Holmes. And all in all, UCLA gets out of that pretty well. It was Larry Wallace coming back under it, not Holmes. Number 15 almost got to it. Zuri Hector came within a few inches of blocking that punt.
America was built on dreams, and business is the key. We ensure where America works, we're USF and G. From the mountains lakes to the ocean's edge, we ensure you every day. We protect what America's made of. We cover the USA.
John Elway leads the Denver Broncos into Washington to tackle the Redskins.
All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night.
On ABC's Monday Night Football.
Junior Seau will put that on after a while if they decide he can go back in the game. I guess they're going to put it on him right now. It'll be a little extra padding for a bruised right shoulder. He's making a little news around this neck of the woods the last few days. We'll tell you about that in a moment. Right now, Southern California goes to the attack on first down from the 38-yard line. And this was the thing I thought SC would probably do, but I can certainly understand Bob Greasy, the logic. If they could jump out and get a 14-point, maybe a 21-point lead earlier, then they just start pounding the ball.
Well, they are a very balanced attack. Here you see their offensive, where they rank in the Pac-10. They're at the top or right there in several different categories. They have 112 rushing first downs and 112 passing first downs. I don't know how you can get any more balanced than that.
Second down. That's going to be a little bit short of the first down. Urban's again carrying the ball. This will bring up third down and short. I've got a clip of him talking about what he's got in mind for his immediate future. We're going to play that for you in a few minutes.
And Seau, now he puts those on underneath his regular shoulder pads. It just gives him a little bit more padding to cushion any blow that he might have to that area.
Double tight end alignment now as they set up out of the I formation. Give it to the fullback, Colt. Leroy breaks it big. That's a helmet rolling around on the ground. He's got the football tucked away and a first down at the UCLA 41-yard line. Minutes and 38 seconds to go in the first quarter of play at the Coliseum. Southern California scoring on its first defensive possession. UCLA's had one turnover. 44-yard punt plus a first down got them off the hook the last time, and now Southern California's back on the UCLA side of the field trying to manifest another thrust. That's the Bruin goal line. Leroy Holt, second successive carry, picks up about 4 yards. Marcus Patton brought him down.
Patton has been something special for UCLA defensively this year. Number 49, the left side of your screen. Leads the team in sacks. In fact, and total tackles for losses. In fact, to set a record, 22 tackles for losses this year is a record for UCLA.
He's a little like Carnell Lake in that he's not all that big playing the outside linebacker position, 6'1", 215, but very, very quick. Marinovich gives it to Ricky Urban, and Urban behind that big Trojan front finds enough daylight, and with his own ability picks up a first down at the UCLA 27-yard line. Here we're telling you a little while ago about what Junior Seau might be considering. I just simply asked him yesterday in conversation if he planned to go professional next year. Here's what he said.
I will look into it, and the only reason why I will look into it is for a financial reason for my family, and that's about it. But other than that, I feel like I have a duty here at USC to perform and kind of get everything going with the people that helped me get where I am now.
Irvin's again with the ball, and again a big hole over there for Rick, and he runs for 9 yards. And the reason why he is considering turning to professional is a very simple one. He told me this: that his dad has a bad ticker, it's a bad heart, and he feels obligated more so to his family than anyone, obviously, and he should, because his dad with the bad heart.
This is only his 3rd year at USC. His first year was a Prop 48. He's a bright student, just messed up on the SAT test.
Well, yeah, he had a 3.48 grade.
That's what I'm saying. He's a good student, but just fool around at the test.
That SAT is an overrated fucking nonsense a lot of the time. Penalty flag down. I just can't believe that when you have somebody who has a 3.4, 3.5 grade and have kept up their work in good core classes, you've got to take that into consideration and not put so much weight on a little contest that you may not have been trained to take.
And he was the senior class president in high school. I mean, he was a good student. He just, admittedly, he just went in and just fouled up the test and didn't take it seriously and scored below 700. But it's his 3rd year at SC. This is his first year starting, and has done outstandingly.
Bill Richardson, the referee. The penalty is going to back up the Trojans and wipe out the play. The umpires, Walt Wolf, Jay Strickett, the head linesman. Marty Herman is the line judge. Harvey Jones, the field judge. Dan Spriester back the side judge. The back judge is James Irwin. Beleaguered Terry Donahue. He does not know himself what has caused the collapse of his football team. It's a mixture of things, and if you go looking around for a catchphrase or a word, I suppose the one word would be lack of chemistry.
And it's kind of surprised him and everybody else in this town. They won 10 ball games the last 2 years. In his 13 seasons at UCLA, they went to 10 bowls and won 7 in a row, which is an NCAA record. So this program has been one of the finest in the country. And it's kind of surprising that it's 3-7. He admitted the other day, he says, we've had a lot of problems, and he said this should be a 6-4 or 7-3 team.
What we have going on with this dance out on the field, folks, you have 2 penalties. You have a 10-yard holding penalty, and then you tacked on a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, so it's a total of 25 yards. And Southern California is backed all the way back to the 44-yard line, and Marinovich rolls it, throws it, got a man, it's intercepted, stepping up in front of it, Carlton Gray, a freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio. And he picks it off, brings it all the way back across the 40-yard line. That was a slow developing play. Marinovich didn't get a lot of pop on the pass, and Carlton Gray just kind of ambled under it and made a big play.
Here are the 3 wide receivers. They are all going to go down, and this one's going to break to the outside. Gray is here. He's going to go back for a while and then drop off, have good vision on the quarterback. Marinovich gets outside the pocket. The bottom of your screen, that's Gray. He lets the man go because he has help deep inside. Good vision for a true freshman, as you mentioned. Gets up and makes a big play for UCLA.
He wants to turn out for the basketball team as soon as football season's over. Says, I can play point guard. I can at least help the point guard.
Well, there are a lot of people around UCLA that are looking forward to the basketball season.
Yeah. First down from the 41. That's Farr in motion for the Bruins. And Johnson sprints back, hands it off. Pick up by Kevin Williams is up to the 43-yard line. Pat Gee made the tackle. He's a sophomore for the Trojans from Arkansas City, Kansas. Ohio State, Michigan, that's at noon Eastern time in Ann Arbor next week. And it is the key for the door to the airplane that flies to the Rose Bowl.
It's the key that unlocks the door for sure.
Yep. And right after it, from the Hall of Fame in Springfield, Mass, Michigan, Arizona, in basketball. That's a different kind of a doubleheader, but a great one for you next Saturday on ABC Sports. Johnson Dancing around, couldn't find anybody. Brett stands 6 feet. And give you an idea, the Trojan defensive front is 6'5", 6'5", 6'4", and the linebackers inside are 6'2", 6'2", and then you mix in 6'6", and 6'7", and 6'5" offensive linemen, and a 6-foot quarterback has to go around looking for a crack. The first quarter is over, and after one, it's USC 7 and UCLA nothing.
Every 500 years or so, an exceptional printer comes along. Introducing the IBM laser printer with a revolutionary design that will make it the new standard for years to come. The IBM laser printer. Suddenly, nothing else measures up. This is how easy it is to collate a mailing on the new IBM laser printer. And how easy is it to collate with the leading laser printer? Probably now isn't the best time to ask. The IBM laser printer. Suddenly, nothing else measures up.
When you have to travel the straight and narrow. Milk it for all it's worth.
So that's Joey's sister. Is she a college senior? No, she's going to be a freshman. She joined the military, learned a lot, and now they're paying for her education with the GI Bill. GI Bill? You know what makes you want to sign up? I did. And so did Joey.
Part-time, full-time in the U.S. Armed Forces.
Do you know what it's like to hear the cheers at the Rose Bowl as they rise up from 100,000 seats? Now you do. Adidas Aftershave in Cologne, the essence of sports.
If you have a house as messy as this, and a son as helpful as this, get a shop vac. Look at the power this baby's got. A shop vac wet dry picks up everything from nails and wood chips to broken glass to gallons of water.
Thanks for the car, Dad.
Yep, there's no telling when you'll need the power of a shop vac.
Now, Shop Vac introduces Spot Check for tough carpet stains. Spot Check turns any shop vac into a powerful carpet cleaner.
Yes, there is still a Hollywood. And it's sparkling under the sun today. All right, here we go to the second quarter now. UCLA trying to get a little something going. They look a little better in this offensive possession. On 3rd down and 9, Johnson loses his footing. He's in trouble again. He's pulled the ball down already and committed himself to the run, and he is not going to do much running against Southern California. Marcus Hopkins, the strong safety coming up, takes him down, and so UCLA is going to have to punt it away again.
Johnson's going to have to settle down. He's always been a scrambler. He likes to roll right and roll left, but he's just a little bit excited in the first quarter. There's been some times when he could have stayed in the pocket or moved right or left and not have to run the football.
Larry Wallace is deep for Southern California, number 82. He's from Stockton, California, and Kirk Maggio from Glen Arm, Maryland, who is the second-ranked punter in the country. Gets it off. It's a low line drive to Wallace. He might have a little room with this one. There are 4 Bruins down there after him, and Stacy Argo runs him down. The ball comes loose, but it goes out of bounds, and the Trojans will keep control at the 6. Here's Jack Arute now with somebody that you'll recognize, I'm sure.
Well, Keith, most surely you'll recognize this man. He accounts for 3 Rose Bowl championships, a national championship, and now with the the LA Rams. John Robinson, you said before the game to the coach, you said, hey, this is the kind of day that makes football so very important and so meaningful.
Well, I think these kind of opponents, too, this tradition playing here. I've been here a few times, scared to death in some very big games, and it's a magnificent setting.
In this kind of environment, do records count for anything, or is it all emotion?
Oh, I think, I think the quality of teams certainly counts, but I think, UCLA's doing well. They've kind of evened the game out a little bit. If they can stay close, maybe they can make something happen. I'm not hoping that happens, but they could very well do that.
Keith?
All right, Jack, thanks very much. John on his way. Of course, the Rams righting their ship a bit last Sunday. back into the hunt. That was Leroy Holt punching his way out a little bit. Here's how things happen for you now. UCLA, mind you, is the team that's struggling in Southern California. And they coughed it loose here.
And they got lucky. Southern Cal got very lucky. Argo, number 41, on the punt, knocks the ball loose, and fortunately for Southern Cal, it goes out of bounds.
But gosh, Bob, it had to roll 15 yards, didn't it?
Huh. The way the ball rolls for you sometimes.
Yep. Second down and 8. That's Irvin. No, Emmanuel. Aaron Emmanuel, who has not had a season to remember himself. He's been dinged up a lot. 6'2", 225-pounder. The penalties against Southern Cal for illegal procedure, illegal motion. So that's going to back him up a little bit. But Emmanuel would dearly love to close out his senior season with 2 big games. Cause his stock to rise some.
It's been a tough career for that young man. He's had some problems, but Larry Smith wants to get him in the ball game because he said he's worked hard, he's come back in shape, and he's taken the demotions very well, and he wants to get him in.
Colorado, that's the final, and the Buffaloes will head for Miami in the Orange Bowl undefeated to face, presumably, the Fighting Irish. Second down and 12 now. Ball back inside the 5. Fullback Leroy Holt. And he's pinned down. They'll give a yard on that play because he was able to fall forward. But number 64 was down on the bottom of the stack, John Pryor, and had a hold of his leg and pinned him. Larry Smith told me yesterday that ideally this is what he would like to do starting out in this ball game against the Bruins today.
We don't want to go into the game playing from a defensive standpoint. We want to go in and be aggressive and attack, both offense and defense. And I think that's been our approach the last 3 to 4 weeks. Every game, every team we played is attack and take it to them. And that's what we're going to do in this game.
And there's Shervin trying. The ball is loose. Bruins have it. Was it a catch? Yes, it was a catch and a fumble, and Craig Davis covered it for UCLA. Frank Griffin coughed it up on the hit. Penalty flag thrown on the field now. Had a little scuffle going on. There's another penalty flag.
Well, it's a very emotional game, as we mentioned going in, and anytime you have a turnover, somebody's going to say no and somebody's going to say yes. Southern Cal came into the game losing only 3 fumbles all year.
We know that. The ball belongs to UCLA. Now it's a matter of sorting out the penalties. There's at least 1, if not 2, unsportsmanlike calls coming here.
We have an interception. UCLA's ball. Dead ball, personal foul. UCLA. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike. UCLA. It'll be first down and 40.
Oh, my goodness.
Like the good news and the bad news. Yes, it's your ball, but guess what else I've got for you? Marinovich is throwing this ball to Griffin, 87. Has possession, feet are on the ground, and a good hit by Carlton, number 3. Griffin didn't see him, knocks the ball loose. Let's see if we can see anything further where the penalties came in.
Well, it's a lack of composure. Obviously, you not only get a personal foul, but then attack on an unsportsmanlike conduct on top of it. I mean, that ain't too smart.
No, it's a good play by Gray, and you're right. When things go bad for you, they go bad all the way. That couldn't be what the foul was. It had to be something after that.
So on first and 40, the ball comes all the way back to the 46-yard line of Southern California.
As it turns out, it's almost equivalent to a punt.
Sure.
Southern Cal would have punted.
Yep.
Except for the fact that you got to make 40 yards for a first down.
Second quarter of play, Southern California leading 7-0. Kevin Williams will have a yard and a half, maybe 2, as he falls inside the 45. Tim Ryan was there to bring him down. I would imagine UCLA could run all week and not gain a whole lot against that defensive front. Here's Jack Arute.
Keith, Terry Donahue is not one to stand for unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. In fact, he took his offensive players, he huddled them around here at the sidelines and said, gentlemen, we can't afford to have penalties like this if we ever hope to stay in this game. He soundly chewed them out and then went back to watching the event.
Coming into the ball game, Donahue's crew was the least penalized in the Pac-10, so they're not called for too many penalties.
Well, Brett Johnson doesn't like what he's got in his hand, so he spends a timeout. They got one remaining in the first half.
National champion, Olympic hopeful, and six-time Honda Civic owner. Some people have all the fun.
How to get your package through an Asian jungle. When you send your package to a place like Singapore, only Federal Express gets it there with its own planes. Gets it through customs with its own people. Gets it out with its own couriers. And gets it delivered with its own vans. Because in Singapore, while other Air Express companies are making arrangements, we're making deliveries. Federal Express. The best way to ship it over here is now the best way to ship it over there.
Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Curtis Strange, Tom Kite, golf's greats join Greg Norman in the final round of the RMCC Invitational tomorrow on ABC Sports.
For those of you who don't know it or recognize it, that's the home of the Bruins, Westwood, where UCLA is located. The picture coming from the Goodyear Blimp Columbia, based in Carson, which is just down below the Los Angeles International Airport. The pilot's Tom Mattis. He lives in the nice community of Huntington Beach. And it's the Goodyear Blimp.
Short ride across town, huh? Mm-hmm. About an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm. But it took me last night to go from here to Sherman Oaks. Johnson falls down. I think the man pulling out to protect on the play may have stepped on his foot.
Brett Johnson is having a tough day, and there's no question that that is what happened. Either the center or the guard, in trying to step back and protect for Johnson, stepped on him, and Johnson went down. As you take a look at the first quarter stats, total yardage in favor of Southern Cal. UCLA has not done much. The best thing they have done is only given up 7 points. Terry Donahue said yesterday he wants it to be a short game, a low-scoring game. He wants to take some time off the clock by running the football.
It's third down and 43.
When the coach says, you call this one by yourself.
Well, they're not giving him any time, and Tim Ryan was just eating him up. They're just not going to let him go back there and sit up in the pocket. He hasn't had a ghost of a chance to do anything all day.
If the protection is breaking down, what you need to do is get him outside the pocket. Roll him out.
Well, he's got
and he can do that. Yeah.
Well, that's almost blocked again. DiMaggio got it away, and he gets a UCLA bounce on it. It's going to roll inside the 10, down to the 5, inside the 5, and that's where it'll be put out. So after the roll, all things considered, pretty good putt. 48 yards and no return.
Being a part of the U.S. Armed Forces is an experience you can be proud of.
Today, more people than ever are getting a kick out of this hot shot. Interstate batteries hit the road fast with all the cranking power and reserve energy you need for even the worst curves in the weather. And Interstate has twice as many dealers than any other battery company in America, so you're never left stranded. For an Interstate battery dealer near you,
all you've got to do is call 1-800-CRANK-IT. Get the power that goes on and on and on, yeah.
In 1982, the Rose Bowl became UCLA's home field, and the Bruins made the most of it. The Trojans scored late to cut a big Bruin lead to 20-19. Then nose guard Carl Morgan will sack USC quarterback Scott Tinsley on a 2-point conversion try. The Bruins back into the Rose Bowl, and they won that too, beating the Michigan Wolverines. It was a big first year for the Bruins in the Rose Bowl.
And Keith, in that flashback, you saw the last time that the teams were allowed to wear home-and-home jerseys, because in 1983, the NCAA ruled that you must wear white if you're the visiting team. So the powder blue goes into the suitcases in the lockers today.
Emmanuel is the tailback, Holt is the fullback, and Leroy from the 5 out close to the 8. He's a load. He's 225 pounds and very, very strong. He got 10 minutes to go in the first half of this ball game, with Southern California leading 7-0.
Here's Leroy Holt, your fullback at Southern Cal. You don't expect to carry very much, but he made all Pac-10 last year. He was voted the most inspirational player the last 2 years. I guess his pre-game motivational speeches are something else. Kicks chairs.
Cracks the wall. Emmanuel trying to cut back, slides down, loses his footing, and Lodish helps pin him. Mike is from Birmingham, Michigan.
Mike Lodish, number 94. One of the only veterans left in that UCLA defensive line. Schultz, number 76, does a nice job in keeping him away from the play.
Terry had to bring up, 5 players off his scout team.
3 or 4, and they're backing up in the defensive line. Lodish has 3 interceptions in his career from a defensive tackle position. 2 this year, so he's got good hands.
Marinovich rolls right, throws left-handed, passes to the sidelines. John Jackson just enough for the first down. And a penalty flag is down. The flag is thrown back at the 5. That means the referee threw it.
Smart call by John Matsko and Ray Dorr, the offensive coaches for Southern Cal. Personal
UCLA,
foul.
Yep, roughing the passer. Yep.
The smart call. You get your quarterback outside the pocket, especially inside your own 15-yard line where you don't want any sacks or negative plays. Gets him more time. You can see you got better vision. And there's no reading of defenses out here. You just look, and there's the foul right there. The late hit on the quarterback.
Keaton, number 55, ball is long gone, but he had him in his hands, and he couldn't resist shoving him down. And UCLA now has been flagged 3 times, 45 yards, and suddenly the Trojans have good field position.
I mentioned that UCLA was the least penalized team in the Pac-10, but sometimes when you get in an emotional game, especially against your arch rival, your hated arch rival, you come in here, it's been a frustrating year for UCLA. Sometimes you take it out on the other guy.
Ball is now out on the 36-yard line for the Trojans. First down, and they give it to the tailback. And Ricky Irvins, 190-pound junior out of Pasadena, will pick up a couple of yards. The Honda Scholar Athlete of the Week, brought to you by American Honda. Proud to support amateur athletics. This week's award goes to Desmond Howard, the sophomore flanker from the University of Michigan. Last week's win over Illinois, he had 44 yards running and kickoff returns. Today against Minnesota, he caught a pass for 19 yards and a touchdown. Honda presenting a check for $2,000 to the General Scholarship Fund, University of Michigan. PE major is Desmond Howard, grade point 3. He's from Cleveland, Ohio. And we'll see him next week against Ohio State. Second down and 8. Pass down the middle to Holt, the fullback. And I mean to tell you, folks, there was a collision as Mr. Holt was greeted by Craig Davis, the veteran senior inside linebacker, and he held him short of his first down. The backup unit, we're talking about people who came up the scout team, Andrew Brigida, Andre Farr, and Corey Whalen. The backup people along the defensive front, all 3 of them are off the scout team for UCLA.
And the reason they're up is because they've had several injuries in the defensive line, including Brian Wilcox, who was one of their outstanding defensive linemen.
It's third down and a long 2. Marinovich's pass is intercepted. Second of the day. Eric Turner. Carlton Gray got the first one. Eric Turner has this one. And they have intercepted Marinovich twice. Well, the defense is keeping UCLA in this ball game.
Exactly right. Emotion, and they got to have some help from Southern Cal to stay in this ball game, and that's what they're getting. The second interception. He rolls out to his right, our left. Sees very well, but Turner just cuts in front of the receiver. That's the 8th interception for Turner. Marcus Patton, 49, is going to contain him, keep him upfield, and then going to pressure him a little bit. And he throws the ball maybe before he wanted to, and then Turner made the nice play.
That's 3 Trojan turnovers now. The Bruins, to have a shot at this game, had to have some help, and they're getting it. They roll Johnson out this time. He throws. Farr's got it. First down, Bruins. Just like Coach Greasy said a while ago.
Well, maybe they saw the other team doing it, and they say, hey, that's right, we can do that too. You know, that's the truth. Sometimes I'd stand on the sideline, and the other team would run a play. Say, man, we got that play. Let's run that. It's a good idea. But it does. It gets you outside the pocket. What it does for the quarterback, he doesn't have to stand in the pocket and maybe be sacked by that hard-rushing defensive line of Southern Cal. He can get outside the pocket, use his ability, and don't read anything, just throw the football.
Scott Miller brought the play in. It's first down, ball at the 37 of USC. Johnson rolls it. Throws it. And his high school teammate, Scott Miller, is there for the reception, and another first down for the Bruins down at the USC 22.
Good play, good call. Miller, as you mentioned, went to high school with Johnson. He went to junior college just as his first year at UCLA as the fastest player and has made the most big plays, catching 5 touchdown passes. But Johnson has that ability. He can run. He is quicker feet than Marinovich. They both played against each other in high school. We talked about at the opening, but Johnson is the one with more mobility.
Wideouts are shuttling the plays in. Farr is back in. Miller is out. First down. UCLA Trojan 22. Kevin Williams, the freshman from Texas, punches that ball down close to the 15-yard line. Williams is a 195-pounder. And he doesn't have any timidity at all about sticking his head into a crowd and hammering it.
Well, not only is he tough, but he is the 89 Pac-10 100-meter champion, so you know he's got some speed along with that power. That's about the 8th time, Keith, that UCLA has run to their left on that little toss with the 3 tight end set and the back, same formation as you see right here.
It's second down, short 5.
Same play.
Now he's going to cut it back against the grain, but he lost his footing, and they bury him back at the 20. Well, why do they have this infatuation with that particular play?
Well, obviously, they feel as though the right side or their left side of the Southern Cal defensive line, they can run on that side a little bit. I think Sayal lines up that way most of the time, and they want to run right at Sayal and not run away from him. The other thing they want to do is 3 tight ends. They're very strong with their tight ends. Austin, Arbuckle, and Anthony, all very good tight ends, and they want to get them in the ballgame.
Sayal's not in there. 215-pound Craig Hartsacker's in there right now. Now they're looking at 3rd and long, 3rd down and 8. Out of the pocket, thrown underneath. That's Arbuckle, the tight end. He's got a first down. He's inside the 5-yard line. They'll mark him, however, right at the 5. So once again, the tight end shows up in the UCLA offense.
Tight ends, as I mentioned, are a strength. They've got 3 outstanding tight ends. To spread, here's Arbuckle. The outside receiver is going to go down. Arbuckle is just going to go down and hook in the middle of the field. One receiver goes deep middle, the other goes to the outside, and Arbuckle, who has caught 17 passes the last 3 games, comes up with a big catch for UCLA.
Charles is not easy when he gets the ball. He's a tough guy. First down and goal at the Trojan 5. Johnson sprinting out, runs into Williams. Williams got in his way. I don't know what it was supposed to be, except the quarterback and the trailing back run together, and they'll wind up with a yard.
The tailback is just too slow in getting there. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. Johnson is a redshirt freshman. The tailback, they've got a lot of young people in skilled positions. Johnson says, I'm in a hurry to get out of here. And Williams says, he's just taking his time. You just can't do that.
I don't think, though, you got to go cruising around looking for somebody to hit. There's a lot of folks wearing red shirts out there for you to put a block on.
All of the mental mistakes UCLA has made today, it's obvious to see why they're 3-7.
All right, Williams trying, and touchdown Bruins. Good blocking on the right side. They seal it off, and Kevin Williams sticks it in the end zone.
Offensive line charge. Austin 95, that's Anthony number 90. Both get good blocks. This is only the second game in which, all year, in which that Southern Cal has given up a rushing touchdown.
The extra point try for UCLA, Alfredo Velasco. Ooh, the snap wasn't too good, but he gets it up, and he got it. Kirk Maggio, the holder, had to go right down on the grass to grab a hold of it and put it down for him. And Alfredo knocked it through, and we are tied at 4:24 to go in the first half.
Sharp. When I say sharp, I mean
Business.
I mean
Technology on the cutting edge.
sharp.
Color technology, color scanners, printers, and copiers for high-impact presentation.
Sharp.
Laser fax technology, laser quick, laser clear.
I mean
Microtechnology, the wizard, the electronic organizer. Information at your command.
I mean
Technology on the cutting edge.
when I say sharp, I mean business.
If you think the new Honda Accord Coupe looks good on television, you should see it on the road. The new Accord from Honda. You have to drive it to believe it.
It's a Big Ten title showdown. Michigan is looking for a Rose Bowl return, but they face a must-win battle with arch-rival Ohio State on ABC's College Football next Saturday.
There are the coaches. One with a very successful season, third consecutive trip to the Rose Bowl, the other beleaguered, puzzled. But right now, thrilled to death to have his team even with Southern California, the number 8 team in the country. The deep people are Louisi and Holmes and Hanna, 3 of them back there. The low line drive, kickoff back to the goal line, and it's Hanna. And he finds his wedge, and he comes to the 25. Ooh, he can run. I mean, he came in a hurry from the goal line and got it out to the 25.
Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown. Here are the 3 tight ends. There's 1 here and 2 over here. This is the formation that they've been using. These 2 tight ends are going to seal off here. The pitch is going to come around this side. UCLA is strong with tight ends at the bottom of your screen. They blow everybody off into the end zone. That's Schultz on that side. It's Page and Meyer blowing him into the end zone along with those 2 tight ends.
And the Bruins have now scored in 216 consecutive games, which is an NCAA record. Ricky Irvin's the I-back, Holt the fullback for the Trojans from the 25. A 7-7 tie. Irvin wiggling around in there, and we'll get a little bit out of it, a couple of yards on the carry. Southern California, in its very first possession, went down and scored a touchdown. Then they punted, then they were intercepted, then they fumbled, then intercepted, and they have helped UCLA get into this ball game. And if it keeps going this way, it's going to get harder and harder.
Well, in an emotional game such as this is exactly what you don't want to do. And that is help the opponent. They came out, big plays, wide open. Larry Smith said, we're going to attack, and they did.
Second down and 7. Irvins again. Well, there's another thing that's going on, too, and on a hot day like this, with the kind of a team that Southern California has and the circumstances for UCLA, you might as well go out there and beat on them. Wear them out, because you go back to the old homily about John McKay's days. You know, first quarter it was 2 yards, second quarter it was 4 yards, third quarter 7 yards, and the fourth quarter touchdown.
And you're right, UCLA, as we've already said, defensively very thin. They have had trouble running the ball offensively and stopping the run defensively. That's UCLA. They got to a blitz here.
Bristol's got him.
Yeah, they were lined up showing blitz. Marinovich obviously trying to check off. May have taken too much time.
Bill Richardson.
Delay game offense. Third down.
They burned the clock, back them up 5. Roger Twyble, halftime. We'll have the Dexter Manless story, and it's not pretty. In fact, it's just shameful.
It's
plus scores.
It's too bad that anybody has to get to that point. I mean, when the rules are there, just hope that he can get some help and straighten his life out. Forget about football.
Third down and 9. Marinovich dropping back. Gets a little heat now and finally gets his pass away. The pass caught by Jackson, but John is held short of the first down.
It depends on where they mark it.
Now, I just can't believe that
if they say as forward momentum is stopped, it's short of the first down.
I don't think so.
But he fell forward past the down marker.
Number 64, John Pryor, almost got Marinovich before he got the ball away, but he comes up lame. But then who on the defensive team is not lame?
Another injury, that defensive line.
That's short, about a yard.
There's Pryor, 64, right there. He gets hit down around his knees and ankles.
John Jackson now has 36 consecutive games with a catch, and that ties the Pac-10 record. Pryor now is getting some help off the field. John's wearing one of those big braces now, but obviously he's playing with a tender leg anyhow. He's a gamer. I expect he'll shake it off if the doctor will let him. That's Farr, Mike Farr, son of Mel. He was an All-American at UCLA. Ron Dale is now in to do the punting for USC. Both punters average the same, believe it or not. Mark Preston and Dale both averaging 38.7. And they're not getting a whole lot of height on their kicks, but this time the coverage is good enough, and there's virtually no return, maybe a yard, and the Bruins will have it first down out near their own 32, 35-yard punt.
This is the shop of Samsat Bazaar, a thriving establishment on the outskirts of Bangkok. Unlike other international executives, he has no phone system, no computers, not even a fax machine. He does, however, enjoy one modern and efficient service nearly 4 billion people in 175 countries today can take for granted. UPS. We run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
If you thought you had to give up comfort to get a close shave, Norelco says, think again. Their revolutionary shaving system shaves skin close in a way that's incredibly comfortable. As the hair enters the chamber, the patented lift and cut system lifts each hair and holds it a split second before a blade cuts it, so it's possible to shave skin close without the blades even touching the skin. The lift and cut shaving system from Norelco. We made close comfortable.
ABC's College Football. Brought to you by Honda, who invites you to test drive the new Accord. You have to drive it to believe. And by Interstate Batteries and their 165,000 dealers serving you all across America.
Middle 80s temperature. They play on the grass here. If it was a rug, it would be a lot hotter down there for the players, but they play on Mother Earth. Bruins have only one timeout now as they begin this possession. They pitch it back there to Kevin Williams, and he's up to the 35 where Mark Carrier meets him. And they trade a little paint on their hats.
What UCLA is doing, Keith, is 3 tight ends. They've got a man in front of each outside linebacker, Sayal and Williams on the other side. No defensive man is getting penetration into the backfield, so they're getting no negative plays. They're using that little toss sweep one way or the other. And lately, they've been getting Johnson outside the pocket. Those have been the successful plays for them.
Well, when they went for their touchdown, Johnson was 3 for 3, throwing for 42 yards, and all of those passes accounting for first down. Second down and 6.
Outside the pocket.
Go back to Williams. I tell you what, Kevin may be a tough guy, but you can't keep coming straight ahead like that and swapping licks with linebackers and cornerbacks like that. Now, Spears weighs 190 pounds. He's just about as big as Williams, and I mean, he hit him with some authority.
Yep.
Williams may have speed, but he is not a quick back. Sean Wild would be the more quick kind of a guy.
Well, with this type of attack that they're running, they want the tougher back in there. They don't need speed to get around to the end. They just, as Donnie, you said yesterday, we need a short game. We want to take time off the clock. It's fine to run these plays. We need to make first down.
Yes. Well, Kevin Williams has now convinced me that he is tough. He is just running right at those people and knocking them back on their heels. Here he goes again, cutting to the outside. Ball is loose, rolling around. Trojans after it. Trojans have it. Back on their 41 with 54 seconds to go in the first half. Mark Carrier. And as the Trojan in pursuit of the ball that is shaken up, and I presume that to be Mark Carrier. A lot of folks rolled in on top of him, and timeout with 54 seconds.
Oh, good morning, Congressman. No, that's all right. We're all up.
When? Friday? You're kidding.
Vicky, do you speak Russian? We got company coming. We got to get the word out. Hey, Chief, you better take a look at this.
Let's get that Russian story on page 1.
Order me some Russian flags. 1,500.
We'll make it 2,500.
Patty's reported here. He says he's coming here to try our apple pie.
Happy party of 2. Why Hamilton?
I see you staying set for 2 nights.
Yes, that's correct. Oh, that kid wrote him a letter, right?
And we're bringing into Hamilton on this route.
First Russian fax I've ever seen.
Hi, I'm Dick Vitale. The defending national champ Michigan takes on Arizona in the Hall of Fame Tip-Off Classic, live next Saturday on ABC's College Basketball.
Another look at Williams' run and the fumble. Coulter's the man that hit the ball and knocked it out. Williams will be credited with a 20-yard run, and then there will be a second turnover against the Bruins. So Southern California now with 54 seconds to work with. Marinovich goes underneath, throws the ball 9 yards. It is caught by Ricky Irvins, and he picks it up another 5. And it makes 14, and it's first down, and on the UCLA side of the field. Timeout. The Trojans have all 3. Carrier coming off the field just deflated, I think, wasn't he?
He just got the wind knocked out of him, I think.
There was about 800 pounds of football players on top of him.
Southern Cal has plenty of time to score here. 48 seconds to go in the half and all the timeouts.
Out of the shotgun. Still no pressure on Marinovich. Works around a little bit to clear up the middle and then throws it too high and too long. And it's incomplete, and the clock now shows 41 seconds remaining. And it'll be second down and 10. The Denver Broncos and the Washington Redskins will be in the nation's capital on Monday night, beginning at 9 Eastern Time on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. John Elway and his Denver Broncos got things going pretty good. They have almost totally rebuilt the defense over there, and I mean they are stacking some folks around, aren't they?
And how about the running game? They've got some running backs over there.
Well, Humphrey.
Yeah.
Bobby Humphrey from Alabama is really giving them a shot in the arm. Second down and 10. Again, all the time in the world, and there's Jackson. And Darby brings him down for UCLA, and it's right on the marker at the 36-yard line of UCLA. Time remaining, 34 seconds to play in the first half, and Southern California has called a timeout. They have 2 remaining. Over 92,000 today. All the tickets were sold for this 59th meeting, and they've seen a ball game that's been marked as much by anything with mistakes. But what that has produced is a 7-7 tie with 34 seconds to play in the first half. First down, Trojans near the Bruin 35. Marinovich's pass for Irvins is too long. They need to get that ball down around the 25 to secure a good shot at a field goal for Quinn Rodriguez. His longest of the year has been a 37-yarder.
UCLA taking a big chance here. The 2 safeties are lined up deep, but watch as the ball is snapped. Both safeties will blitz. Marinovich and the wide receiver will see it a little bit late. The halfback swings on a swing and up route. And Todd just overthrows him to the outside, but aggressive defense by Bob Field, the defensive coordinator for UCLA.
Sure does leave a big hole in the middle, doesn't it?
Better get there quick.
He puts it up. It is knocked away and almost intercepted, intended for John Jackson, and it was Carlton Gray that slapped it down. And he's going all shook. He almost had his second interception, and there's a penalty flag.
From the right side of your screen, number 3, Carlton Gray gets there at just the last second and knocks his ball away, or it's a touchdown. Jackson is right where he should be. Could have caught it again. But Turner was coming over, and he kind of looking at Turner and says, holding. Wait a minute, I got a safety coming my way.
10 yards, repeat second down.
So the Trojans hurt themselves again. 3 turnovers, and now they've been hit with a 10-yard penalty for holding.
UCLA pass defense has been pretty good. In fact, they're the best in the Pac-10. Flip side of that is they're 9th against the run in the Pac-10. So
Darby missed him. Gets it away. The pass is no good. The Bruins were really after him. Craig Davis, 54. Meet Shaw, 53. But they just couldn't quite get to Marinovich. Todd is just quick enough. He doesn't look quick, but he is just quick enough.
It's a good point, Keith. He doesn't run as well as the other quarterback, Brett Johnson. But he has good enough mobility to get outside the pocket. In fact, runs the option some for USC.
We haven't seen that at all yet.
Not yet, not today, but inside short yardage and goal line, you may see it.
All right, you got 15 seconds to play. They're well out of Quinn Rodriguez's range right now. They need about 20 yards here. That's a sideline pattern. The pass is thrown well to Joel Scott, and he got a foot down. And now they are within Rodriguez range. Down on the 23, and with it, they get a first down, but there's only 8 seconds left to play in the first half. It looks like USC might get a point out of it after all.
Well, if you kicked it from there, it's only, what, 23? It'd be a 40-yard field goal. Wants to talk it over. Larry Smith wants a timeout. He said, no, don't go to the line of scrimmage. I want a timeout. Team was breaking the huddle. He finally got the eye of one of his wide receivers.
I would imagine they'll just win it out in the middle of the field. Set it up for Rodriguez with 8 seconds to play.
UCLA is among the nation's preeminent research universities. Faculty consistently receive national and international recognition for their academic accomplishments. UCLA students are considered among the nation's most outstanding scholars. Known for the superb quality of its libraries and collections and the beauty of its campus, UCLA is a place for continual academic challenge in a rich, dynamic environment.
Well, there's Mr. Rodriguez cranking up. Longest of the year, 37. He has range around 40, maybe even 45 on a hot day like this. And there's virtually no wind.
Much wind. And what they're talking about over there on the sideline, you're either going to try to get the ball in the center of the field, Keith, or try to throw a little quick out, something to your wide receiver won't take more than 4 or 5 seconds and you get out of bounds. Because if you complete something inside the field of play, it's going to take at least 8 seconds to get it off.
Joel Scott comes to the boundary side. You figure that's where the pass would go, unless they just wind up throw it in the end zone.
Exactly.
They throw it in the end zone. Throw it outside the end zone. Throw it in Santa Monica, what they did.
Well, they can try it again because there's 3 seconds left on the clock.
Wouldn't you take 3 and take the lead?
I don't think you can make it from there, Keith. I think that's the problem. We're going to try it. Yeah, we'll try it.
His career long, with help from the wind, was 47. Well, this is just a tad over 40.
In high school, I remember him making one 58, 60 yards.
Yeah.
High school record, national record for a while.
It's on its way. And it's good. It was one of those good.
That's the way it was.
And the half is over.
And SC, who has really controlled the tempo of this game, either positively or negatively as far as they're concerned, hit the goalpost and go through.
At halftime, Trojans 10, Bruins 7. Back with a Prudential halftime report after this message and the word from our ABC station.
Now, almost every time you use MasterCard before December 31st, you increase your chances of winning your MasterCard bills paid up to $18,000 a year till the 21st century. MasterCard. Master the moment until the 21st century.
On BASF videotape, Christmas will last all year round. BASF, tape that lasts forever.
In 1859, Isaac Cook created a Great American champagne to launch the Great American Clipper ships. Today, people are still launching celebrations with Cook's Imperial American Champagne.
Tonight, Burt Reynolds in the season premiere of BL Stryker.
You'll thank me for this someday.
BL Stryker on the ABC Saturday Mystery tonight.
Over the past few years, a battalion of strangely equipped individuals has been roving the American workplace, testing the air for substances that shouldn't be there, things that might make people sick, and insurance premiums skyrocket. Now, some find Aetna's approach a little unexpected.
Sorry, excuse me.
But when was the last time your insurance company did anything more surprising than mail you a bill?
If you are out a lot, get call forwarding, because now the service connection is free. Then when you're not at home, like now, you can forward your calls to where you are, which means you could pick up that ringing phone. So call 1-800-444-8849, or you'll miss this free offer. Come on, get home and call. We even left out the picture so you could see the number better.
Primetime's pre-Thanksgiving special, 7:30 tonight.
The Prudential Halftime Report is being brought to you by the companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the rock. Now, here's your host, Roger Twibell.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our ABC studios in New York. Top-ranked Notre Dame, 17th rated Penn State. Tony Rice, a couple of touchdowns. Blair Thomas also has 2. Notre Dame leads it in the third quarter. Colorado, for the first time ever, wins 11 games. They're undefeated. They're going to the Orange Bowl easily over Kansas State. The reason they did it, J.J. Flanagan today. This 32-yard touchdown run. He had 4 touchdowns on the day. And now the CU Choir.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I see you down the field. See you must win.
And, of course, Colorado going to the Orange Bowl to play Notre Dame. Meanwhile, in the Big Ten, Michigan has Ohio State at home next week. They rolled over Minnesota. They went to the air today. Call it the Air Bow Show or whatever. Michael Taylor, 34 yards to Greg McMurtry. They hooked up 3 times today, although Tony Bowles was injured in the first quarter of this game and didn't return. Alabama now in the fourth quarter, leading Southern Mississippi. Suran Stacy, 2 touchdowns, 18 for the season. That breaks Bobby Humphrey's single-season record. Florida State and Memphis State, and Florida State now has beaten Memphis State. Peter Tom Willis had an outstanding game. And, folks, as you watch, we will tell you that 4 of his 6 touchdown passes came on 7 plays in a 1-minute and 15-second span in the second quarter. That one, 51 yards to Amp Lee. Oklahoma and Nebraska, they're in the fourth quarter right now. Godowski for Nebraska, he's got 5 touchdowns in the day, 4 through the air and 1 on the ground. Miami and San Diego State, this one in the second quarter. The Aztecs have never beaten a top 10 team. Doesn't look like it's going to happen today. Meanwhile, Tennessee, led by Chuck Webb, 294 yards rushing. That's a Tennessee record. They beat Ole Miss. Tennessee with Kentucky and Vandy left. Auburn and Georgia, and Auburn wins it the final 20-3. Now, they can earn a tie in the SEC by beating Alabama on December the 2nd. In the Big Ten, Illinois and Indiana, and Jeff George has been hot in this one. He has 3 touchdown passes, and in the second quarter, it is 21-14. Maryland and Virginia, the Cavaliers have not won at Maryland since '71. Right now in the second quarter, it's tied up at 14. Pitt trailed for most of the game, then Kervin Richards turned it on. 264 yards rushing. They beat East Carolina. Texas Tech and SMU, this is at halftime right now. James Gray with 3 touchdowns, 49 for his career, ties the Southwest Conference record. Ohio State and Wisconsin. Ohio State the winner in this one. Ohio State now 8-2. They play at Michigan next week. They're still alive in the Big Ten race. Duke blasts North Carolina. The Tar Heels finish at 1-10. And Clarkston Hines, he finishes with a flurry. Hines, 3 touchdown receptions today. This 44 yards from Dave Brown. And Hines, 38 on his career. He leads Terrace Mathis in the all-time category. BYU with a little revenge. Last year, Utah slammed them. It's 70-31 in the fourth quarter. Ty Detmer, he might be the least known best quarterback in the country. This pass to Chris Smith, lots of time, more time. How about a lot more time? 76 yards. Detmer with 4 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. And Ty Detmer leads BYU today. Look at that, 15-19, 289 yards and 4 touchdowns. 106 meeting between Harvard and Yale, and it was an upset. Harvard beats Yale, so this drops Yale into a tie for first place in the Ivy because Princeton knocked off Cornell. It's the first time Princeton has shared that Ivy title since 1969. And coming up next, we're going to tell you about the suspension by the National Football League of Dexter Manley. We'll be talking to his attorney, Bob Wolf. But first, let's take a look at some other scores.
We go above and beyond just like you, above and beyond what we have to do.
I'm a Prudential representative, and I help people review their life insurance needs because I know how much the right life insurance means to me and my family.
You take pride in your life, so do we. Going above and beyond is our policy. The Rock, the Prudential.
like you, above and beyond what we have to do, caring for what's special to you.
I'm a Prudential representative, and what's really important to me when I go into someone's home is to help them save money on their homeowner's insurance. Because I know I'm a homeowner too.
Taking care to protect what's important to you. The Rock, the Prudential, above and beyond.
The Pacific 10 Conference, comprised of the universities of Southern California, Oregon, California, Washington State, Arizona, Oregon State, UCLA, Arizona State, Washington, and Stanford. Unparalleled in athletic achievement and winner of more NCAA championships than any other conference, the Pacific 10 stretches from Arizona in the southwest north to California, Oregon, and Washington. Unsurpassed in academic excellence, Pac-10 schools have been providing the best in quality education for more than a century, offering degrees in agriculture, music, art, drama, and dance, as well as the sciences, including medicine, computer science, engineering, business, and law. The Pacific 10 Conference, leading America into the 21st century.
An expedition in trouble. The Trans-Antarctica Expedition, a journey of 6 men and their sled dogs across the Antarctic continent, has fallen well behind schedule. They have traveled just a quarter of the way, slowed by freezing headwinds, dangerous crevasses, a weakened dog team, and temperatures well below zero. The South Pole and 3,000 miles of ice lie ahead. Stay tuned to ABC Sports for our continuing updates, plus our special hour-long program on December 17th.
Welcome back to New York and the Prudential Halftime Report. As we reported earlier today, National Football League Commissioner Paul Tagliabue has banned Washington Redskins defensive end Dexter Manley from further participation for a third violation of the league's drug abuse policy. Now, Manley has the opportunity to apply for reinstatement after 1 year. And joining us right now from Brookline, Massachusetts, the attorney for Dexter Manley, Bob Wolf. And Bob, welcome. Thank you for being with us. You were at the hearing yesterday in New York. The news came today. Have you talked with Dexter? How's he feeling? What's his reaction?
Yes, I spoke to Dexter, and he's terribly upset, and he's very emotional about this. And so as far as any future plans are concerned, I plan on waiting until Monday to try to explain to Dexter any alternatives that he may have, or whether he wishes just to accept this when he's in a more rational state.
Could you fight this ban through the courts, and how far would you go if you decided to take that course of action?
Well, technically, that could be done. It could be fought through the courts, and you could question the commissioner's authority to have a unilateral drug policy, which was never bargained with the Players Association. Another problem I have, Roger, is the fact that there is no such thing as a union any longer, so that we would never be able to file a grievance. Prior to the union decertifying, we could have filed a grievance with the union.
Bob, you represent players in every sport. You represent some great players. You've represented some players that have had some problems. But does it trouble you when a player has a drug or an alcohol problem? They go into a center for 30 days. They come right out, put them back into that same environment that they started the trouble with. You think that sort of area needs to be changed?
It is a very difficult problem, and I think we have to look upon it as a disease and be very compassionate about it. I think I found the commissioner's office to be very concerned about Dexter. I found them to be compassionate, and I don't think they want to do anything to hurt Dexter. I think Dexter has been a very positive influence in many ways. He's done so many positive things for people in the illiteracy end and in all other ends, and they're hoping that he'll just be fine and will come back to football, and that's what I'm hoping.
Bob, besides the problem with Dexter this week, Barry Wilburn, also of the Redskins, failed the drug test, and we quote now the Associated Press and Joe Gibbs, the Redskins head coach. He said, "I felt for months there might be a drug problem with the two, but didn't feel it was a team problem." Do you feel that management owes it to the player or owes it to you as the representative of the player to come to you and say, we think there might be a problem here, can you do something, rather than just let them perform on the field as long as they can and then say fail something like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there has to be more cooperation because it is a disease. Now, I'm not saying that Dexter has this disease. I'm just saying that's what is being suggested here. But in these type of situations, I think that we all have to cooperate and try to make sure that we work on behalf of the player.
Bob, thank you very much. Appreciate you taking the time to be with us.
Thank you.
That was Bob Wolf, Dexter Manley's attorney, and ABC Sports will continue to follow this story throughout the weekend. And then, of course, on Monday Night Football, when the Denver Broncos play the Washington Redskins. We'll have more from New York right after this commercial.
Ladies and gentlemen, I wish my old partner was here tonight, because this used to be our song.
All my dreams come true. In my arms, soft and bomb, and a hope or two.
In the movies, happy endings are easy, but in the real world, they take solid planning. So for investment advice, peace of mind, even buying or selling a home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
What does leadership look like? At the University of Southern California, it looks like this. Men and women teaching, researching, and serving the region and the nation. In the arts and humanities, in science and medicine, in 21 outstanding professional schools. A century of academic excellence, a legacy of private support. The University of Southern California, leadership for the 21st century.
I can't believe it either, Marge, but it looks to me like they're gone.
You know, that sign wasn't up there for more than a couple, 3 days. And bingo.
According to next door, they got top dollar, too.
Really?
I've never seen a house move so fast. I've never seen a real estate outfit move so fast.
When it's time to sell your house, don't sell yourself short. Put the Rock of Real Estate Networks to work for you. The Prudential. You know us. We know real estate. For a market evaluation of your house, call the Prudential Real Estate office nearest you.
I'm Frank Gifford. This Monday night, we'll be in the nation's capital when the Denver Broncos take on the Washington Redskins. The Broncos are on top of the AFC West and, of course, are led by the incomparable John Elway. The Redskins, with quarterback Doug Williams back at the helm, are faced with a must-win situation. And you'll see it here on Monday Night Football from Washington, D.C. Thanks for being with us on the Prudential Halftime Report. I'm Roger Twyville in New York. I'll be talking to you throughout the afternoon. Now enjoy the second half of the game.
From New York, the Prudential Halftime Report has been brought to you by the companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
We're at halftime at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Southern California Trojans leading UCLA Bruins 10-7. It's been a ball game marked by mistakes. Trojan mistakes have kept the Bruins in the ball game in a threatening position. As for the Rose Bowl, which is down the end of the road for Southern California this season, the Granddaddy Bowl obviously has had some deep memories, some controversy. None spicier, however, than that phantom touchdown that led to a 17-10 USC victory. In the second quarter of the game, Southern California tailback Charles White would get credit for the decisive touchdown. Linesman Gil Marchman of the Big Ten will call touchdown. Now, the back judge standing in the end zone will signal Michigan ball go the other way because he saw the ball come loose well short of the goal line. The first call stood, and Bo Schembechler still growled about the phantom touchdown. The 1979 Rose Bowl. This is the Los Angeles Coliseum on this warm, sunny November day. And the University of Southern California Marching Band, directed by Dr. Arthur Burtner, has a little rosy sound itself. A quick blooming rose, but they are concluded their halftime performance. And we're close to the second half of play.
To us at UPS, this is a custom car. Why, this beauty's been modified dozens of times.
It has a fiberglass fuel-efficient front, a rapid opening foam-filled door, and a sunroof, all of which makes us more efficient, so we can deliver next-day air for up to half what other companies charge, and allow our drivers to be seen in one mean set of wheels. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
Life's full of simple pleasures, like the comfort of Levi's jeans. Or had you forgotten?
Whenever I used to watch TV, my brother Tom would always flip me out. Then we got this Magnavox smart window TV that lets Tommy flip through all the channels. And I could keep watching what I want to. Now I can see what I've been missing, and that's quite a lot.
How strong is extra strength Tums EX? Heartburn strikes, Tums strikes back. Heartburn's gone that fast. Tums EX, twice as strong, twice as fast as regular Rolaids.
Wherever your holiday travels take you this year, be it over the river, through the woods, or even through white and drifted snow, make your first destination a Goodyear retailer, where you'll find some of the biggest savings of the year on a wide selection of Goodyear all-season and steel-belted radials. During Goodyear's Sale of the Season, it's your chance to save on quality Goodyear tires through November 25th at all participating Goodyear retail locations. Nobody fits you like Goodyear.
ABC's College Football. Brought to you by Today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America. And by USF&G. All across this country, USF&G protects your business, home, auto, and life. USF&G covers the USA.
Across the country, we've had a succession of old traditional games played today, and a lot of them have been pure routs, but not so here.
SC has got to be upset being in the locker room up only 3 points. UCLA has kind of gone just the way they wanted it to. Emotionally, take some time off the clock and get some help in the way of turnovers from Southern Cal, and that's about the way it's gone.
The highlight reel is small, and it's deservedly so, because it's a 10-7 ball game. Here's the Southern California touchdown. It's a pass from Marinovich to Wellman for 13 yards.
Well, this is the only touchdown that Southern Cal got, and it's kind of questionable. Wellman catches it, but does he get his knee inbounds or out? And it looked, when we saw it, still do feel as though it was out of bounds.
They'll argue about that for 9 years.
Well, like they've done that one a couple years ago.
Kevin Williams runs it around the right side. Great blocking on the right side of the UCLA line for this Kenner.
Two big tight ends over there, Austin and Anthony, seal that side for the touchdown.
Kevin Williams, after picking up 20 yards, then has the ball knocked out of his arms by Cleveland Coulter. It's recovered by Mark Carrier. And Williams having a pretty good first half, but that one came late.
This turnover led to the late field goal in the first half.
It's a 40-yarder by Quinn Rodriguez, which is on the outside of his range, but he rooted it over. And that's where we are at halftime with a score 10-7. It's one of those where you go, oh, hurry! And it just got in, didn't it? It nipped the upright a little bit, it looked like.
It did, yes it did.
All right, next Tuesday, following Roseanne, Coach is back. And he's almost as big as Greasy.
Well, I don't know.
Craig, it's got to be fun for you to be back in full gear and on the dead run again.
Oh, it's terrific, you know. Terrific working with people like Jerry Van Dyke, who's here today, and Shelley Fabre. Good cast. Yep. Good people.
Now,
and I might add, Keith Jackson and Bob Greasy, who make their television debut.
What are the Screaming Eagles doing here in the opening episode Tuesday at 9:30?
Well, Tuesday 9:30, we're going to an art gallery for a little bit of a pastime, and it's Hayden's introduction into fine arts. which really is not that interesting to him.
Let me ask, can I ask a question? Is it in some degree modeled after Hayden Fry or Hayden Fox, the principal character you play?
Not really, but since the executive producer of the show came from Iowa, there may be a slight similarity.
I thought there might be a little honk in him.
Hayden may be wondering about that, too.
Yeah.
Well, he was. He did mention it when I passed through Iowa City.
Did he?
He said, you tell that boy to send me a check.
You got it. You got it.
All right. It was fun to see you.
Yeah,
fun
you
to have
too.
you back on the air.
Good luck with the show.
Thanks a lot, Keith.
How's your backswing?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, thanks, Bob.
Guy's tough on the course. He really is. Halftime score, 10-7. Trojans have the lead, and we're ready to go with the second half of play. Bruins have the ball to start the second half. And the catch is made back at the 11 by Brian Brown. And Brown will come out across the 25, and down he will go. The halftime stats are these.
Southern Cal leads in the stats, as you might imagine, and this game is going to turn on turnovers. 5 already in the first half, and the team that creates the turnovers and gets the turnovers is probably going to win the second half.
Special teams haven't shown up yet either today, have they? Yet. There's a lot of yets hanging in this second half, aren't there?
The biggest one I'll get to in a minute.
Brett Johnson gets better protection, throws a quick one, and it's caught by Arbuckle. Charles had a pretty good first half himself, up at the 29-yard line.
Let's look at the first half stats individually. Johnson was 4 of 5, but he got sacked 3 times. Williams is a leading rusher with 56 yards, which is pretty good against SC, and Arbuckle leads in receptions. SC defense, Chesley, the leading tackler on the ball club, leads with 5 along with Owens.
Second down and 6 right here.
Carrier with 2 fumble recoveries.
Well, he got that one over the middle to Corwin Anthony, and it's a first down. UCLA at the 46. And immediately you can figure out what they were talking about in the clubhouse at halftime, can't you?
Well, they come out with a different formation. Gone are the 3 tight ends. Now they come out with a spread. Johnson seems to be much more confident. Anthony, number 90, slides to the inside of Chesley, and you know, it's good offensive planning. 3 tight ends the first half. You come out and immediately do something entirely different. SC probably set the whole halftime trying to stop that one formation.
Junior Seau is back in the Trojan lineup defensively now, and Johnson this time rolls it and throws it out of bounds.
Smart play. Nobody open. Don't take the sack. Avoid the loss.
Now Jackaroots.
Well, Keith, a marked contrast in the 2 locker room discussions. Coach Larry Smith was livid with this team. He said they've got to execute better. A lot of mistakes. He was not at all happy. In the UCLA locker room, however, there was some gleam of hope. Coach Terry Donahue told them to keep their pride. They could win this game. A much different attitude than when they first came out on the field. Donahue thinks they've got a chance at this one.
Well, he's right. So that's as you might expect in halftime speeches.
Brian Brown is now the lone back, and he goes in motion. There's nobody back there right now for Brett Johnson. He's got 5 wideouts, so he runs a quarterback draw and falls down. My gosh, he had 15 yards in front of him.
Well, his left guard is the man Wilder, is the man that trips him up. He had a wide open area. Quarterback draw, spread formation, 2 different formations for the UClans coming out. First of the ball game, 3 tight ends, try to run the ball. Second half, spread, no backs in the backfield, quarterback draw, really opening it up.
Sean Wills shows up for the first time today, number 37, sophomore out of Hanford, California. Same set, same movement by the I-back or the tailback, and Johnson gets his pass away for Wills. He's out there. He did not catch it inbound. He was out of bounds. Not his fault. The ball was thrown over his head out of bounds.
It was. It was a well-designed play to get the speed of the halfback Wills on the linebacker Chesley. You don't get this opportunity very often.
He just threw the ball outside, too far outside and out of bounds.
If he throws it inside, he might have had a touchdown.
He may have had a touchdown.
Trojans now, they're up. Looks like they're coming after the punter, Maggio. 10 Trojans up there. Here they come. The kick is away. And a fair catch is called at the 16-yard line by Larry Wallace, and that's where Southern California will start with their first possession of the second half.
Sharp, the only 12-to-1 zoom camcorder. That's who. Sharp, so fully automatic, just turn it on and shoot. The Sharp 12-to-1 zoom camcorder. That's who. While most camcorders stop here, only the Sharp 12-to-1 zoom keeps zooming all the way to here. Beautiful, even in low light. Sharp, the only 12-to-1 zoom. Nobody gets you closer to the ones you love than Sharp. From Sharp Minds, from Sharp Products.
Now, hundreds in cashbacks, low finance rates, 2 doors, 4 doors, all from Chevrolet. Up to $1,000 cash back or 6.9% financing can be yours. Up to $1,000 cash back on our popular Corsicas. Up to $800 on the sleek Chevy Beretta. You can even get up to $750 and the new 1990 Lumina sedan now. So see your Chevrolet dealer today. For more ways to get great deals, nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Peter Jennings, according to a recent public opinion survey, is now the most believable anchor. Watch him on ABC's World News Tonight, Monday.
It is a gorgeous day. I would imagine the beach there by Santa Monica and the Pacific Ocean, which is sort of out there in that haze. I would imagine there's a few folks at the beach today. Then coming on back, that picture coming from the Goodyear Blimp Columbia, based in Carson, California, with Tom Mattis at the controls. Then down into the floor of the Coliseum, where Southern California leads UCLA 10-7. Trojans start first down at their own 16-yard line. Little student body right, and Ricky Urban's going to pick up about 6 yards.
I imagine you may come out and see a little student body right. USC want to establish the running game. Take a look at their leaders. Brnovich was 11 of 20 and 149 yards and 2 picks. Irvin's had over 51 yards, and Jackson leads the receivers. And UCLA defensive leaders, 6 tackles for Davis. Gray and Turner have an interception.
Hey, people up front of Harlow, Parkinson, Leggett, Tucker, Schultz. The tight end is Galbraith. And the fullback, Hope, tries for his first down, and he's close to it. Argo and Tuala, the tackle for UCLA.
Tuala came over from a junior college this year. Last year at that junior college, he had 24 sacks. So he can get after the quarterback. You know, offensively, Southern Cal came out at the beginning of the ball game and threw the ball down the field, the reverses, and you know, sometimes when you try to open it up very quickly, you kind of get out of your game plan. I expect they're going to try and run the ball mostly on this drive.
On first down, there will be a pickup of a couple of yards with Holt carrying again. Well, it just makes sense. I know that, first place, I accept the fact that football is a simple game, really. The acquisition of real estate, right?
Right.
So how do you, the safest way to get it is on the ground. And Lord knows there have been people preaching that ever since the first coach was born.
And you're only as good as those offensive linemen. You know, you're big uglies up front, and when you start throwing the ball around, they don't like to get into a game that way. They like to get into a game by busting heads.
Yes. And UCLA's known factor is they're so thin on defense. You can simply wear them out. That's Irvin's carrying, going up to the 35. That's going to leave him a little over 2 yards short of the first down. But we have told you a couple of times that the 3 people backing up the down 3 on the defensive front for UCLA are all just up from the scout team.
It's Marcus Patton, number 49, the outside linebacker, takes on the block and makes part of the... Irvin's is interesting, Keith. He's only 5'8", as you mentioned earlier, 180, but he was the last guy they really gave an opportunity to be the tailback here at SC this year, and he's had seven straight 100-yard games. He's the guy that has got the job done. This is Leroy Holt for the first down.
He's out of bounds at about the 43-yard line with 11 minutes to go in the third quarter of play, and Southern California having started at their own 16. Well, Notre Dame has now put Penn State away. I don't think anybody's going to beat Notre Dame this year. I'm sorry, I just don't think so. Michigan won big. Alabama won big. Florida State won big. So did Nebraska. Ooh, that'll put a burr under some saddles in Oklahoma, won't it? I bet the footsteps are light tonight in Lincoln, though.
Really no surprises. The only surprise is this game right here. Southern Cal having the most trouble in the top 10.
Irvin's grabbed by Stacy Argo from behind, slowed down, finally down, short of the 45-yard line. Argo is only a sophomore. He's from Princeton, California. He weighs 235 pounds. You might tuck the name away in your mind because you'll hear more of him.
Well, and you wonder sometimes how these guys get these numbers that they get. 41, he's a linebacker. Well, he used to be a running back, and probably when he was a freshman, he wanted to be running back, wanted to be 41. They switched him to linebacker, and he kept the number.
Here's your option. Irvins turns it upfield and goes over the top with Eric Turner, and they bring him down, and he's got his first down. Larry Smith. He says the drive up at Washington State to pull out the 18-17 win for the Trojans over the Cougars was a season maker, not only for Marinovich, but for the whole team.
Washington State was a big boost in confidence in everybody in Todd Marinovich, but I think in general as a football team, that was a great team game too, because we all had to hang together. We all had to play our tails off. And to me, I look at that one game, that 1 point difference, that one drive, and I think that was probably the real key to our whole season, to why we won the championship.
That was about 4 minutes of successive miracles.
91 yards, and they made a couple of fourth down plays. Marinovich really took over.
Dead ball, false start offense, 1st and 15. Reset the game clock.
Really only Todd's third or fourth game, I forget which, and he really came on. He had to take control. Nobody was calling plays from the sideline for him. It was a 2-minute drill. He had to move people around, call the audibles, and play like that, even though it's early in the season, it's a game you should have lost. They were never ahead until the last touchdown.
Speaking of Washington State, they're trailing the Huskies 13-0. Looks like the Huskies, if they win that game, will get a bowl bid. Washington State's all beat up and crippled now. They just run out of people. Here's a little drop-off to Irvins. He slowed down by Argo and put down by Dion Lambert. But where they have marked it gets them back to about the original line of scrimmage.
SC throws a lot of balls to their backs. Irvins has caught 31 coming into the ball game, and Holt, the fullback, had caught 23.
That pickup was 6, second down to 9 coming up now. You know, Holt is a pretty good receiver. It hasn't been that way, but, last year he caught quite a few balls.
Yes, he did. He's probably the most underrated fullback in the country.
Lob it up. Incomplete. Pass intended for Joel Scott. Defended by Dion Lambert.
Well, we have it ISO'd. Lambert on Scott. Scott really getting a chance to play this year for the first time. That's a foul. I'm sorry, that's a foul. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a foul. But the guy that was standing right there, the official, was blocked.
Maybe he couldn't catch the ball. Maybe the ball was too high. Yeah. Not catchable.
Couldn't catch it because the guy knocked him out of bounds.
3rd down and 9. Underneath, too high. Couldn't reach it. Leroy Holt. Oh, he had him, too. You know that? If he zips that thing into his tummy, he's still running.
That's right, because it was man coverage everywhere, and there was nobody close. If he beats his one man that's covering him, there was nobody around. But that's a big defensive series if indeed that Southern Cal does punt this ball away to stop Southern Cal in the first drive, second half.
All right, now they've had the ball for quite a good long time here in the third quarter. We've got 8:19 to go, and it's still a 10-7 game. Preston is in to punt for the Trojans. No pressure on him. A very high drifting kick that carries well into the end zone, and UCLA will come out to the 20 with it. And so the game wears on and on, and it's still close.
There is a new dimension for those who love to drive. It is long and sleek, smooth yet precise, designed for comfort, built for the road, shaped by the wind, proven on the track. Introducing Lumina, the adult sport coupe. When it comes to new dimensions in performance, nobody's winning like.
Shape our future, we invite you to learn the technology of tomorrow while you serve your country in the Navy of today.
The crowd, as usual, more than 90,000 when the Bruins and Trojans played in 1984. Place kicker John Lee was the main man for UCLA. 5 field goals, 3 of them more than 40 yards. Steve Bono hit Mike Sherrard for the only offensive touchdown. UCLA led by 16 at the half and went on to an easy win, 29-10. That's the University of Southern California campus. It's not immediately adjacent to the Coliseum. As you can see, there's Exposition Boulevard, then there's a museum and pretty lawns and trees, and finally the Coliseum, but it's fairly close. Kevin Williams is the back, the lone back. Forward Anthony, number 90. They've got a double tight end alignment in there, trying to get some blocking on the corners. And Williams, running for the corner, is run into by Mark Carrier and taken down after about 4 yards. 8 minutes and 6 seconds to play. Kevin Williams has done most of the work at the running back position today. And bringing in the play for Terry Donahue will be Scott Miller. Of course, Terry Donahue's got a lot of reckoning in front of him when this ball game is done. He'll probably go home and get a good night's rest and a quiet weekend and then really get ready to go to work Monday because he's got a lot of work to do. 2nd down and 7. Brett Johnson rolls it out, drops it underneath to Charles Arbuckle. Arbuckle's got a Bruin first down at the 40. Talking to Terry this week, this is what he says he's going to have to do starting next week.
What I'm going to do, Keith, when the season is over, I'm going to look at the program starting with me, going to the assistant coaches, going to the players, looking throughout the entire program from top to bottom. And we're simply going to rebuild.
Now, that's succinctly said, but not easily done. A lot of people involved in the kind of decisions he's got to make. First down at the 40. There's that little pitch to Kevin Williams. Oh, one man missed him. Number 56, Brian Tullio, was firing, and he just missed him. So instead of about a 3-yard loss, it turns into about a 3-yard gain.
This drive, UCLA, the second of the second half, have gone back to that 3 tight end offense that they used in the first half. What that does effectively is shut down the big playmakers for Southern Cal. In fact, Junior Seau, who we talked about in our opening, has no tackles and no sacks so far. And this is what UCLA offensively has done. They have not really burned it up in the second half the last 3 games.
2nd down and 7. Pass intended for Farr. Covered by Garner, and he couldn't reach it. Well, Illinois has put Indiana away. I guess it looks like Virginia going to wind up in the Citrus Bowl, huh?
George Wells, 10-2, more wins than they've ever won at Virginia.
Might very well have a Virginia-Illinois matchup in that.
Be a good ball game.
I'm guessing. I don't have any idea.
Yeah, that's what all the rumor is. Pick'em day is next week, but all the deals are made this week. And the way it goes?
Some last week.
Yeah, it's true.
Frank Cornish, 68, great player. Over the ball at center. Brett Johnson back. Pressure backside. Sacked at the 35 by Junior Seau. There he is.
Yeah, we talk about him, and there he comes. He just can't stay in the pocket. Jacobson and Page, the two offensive tackles, cannot stop these outside rushers. There's Jacobson, 77. He just runs around him. Does Seau.
Bruins hurrying, trying to catch USC unprepared, getting off a quick punt. But it's not very successful. Wallace gets back, and Wallace makes the catch and returns it after a 38-yard kick. And Southern California will own the ball first down at about their own 29, leading by a score of 10-7.
How to know where on earth your package is. Charlie Smith has a nose for tracking. He can spot a Federal Express package from Bangkok to the North Sea. He can tell you when your package clears customs in Tokyo or takes off for Sydney. You see, Federal Express tracks your package through computerized checkpoints. So Charlie Smith always knows where everything is.
Anyone see my glasses?
Federal Express.
Very funny.
The best way to ship it over here is now the best way to ship it over there.
Cross the road, Jack, to a place with a taste that's more, that's more, that's more, that's more. Cross the road, Jack, Kentucky Fried Chicken's got more.
What you said? Original recipe chicken, sir. Some chicken little sandwiches for him and her. Kentucky nuggets, hey, pick some up for Ray.
That's right, cross the road, Jack, Kentucky Fried Chicken's got more.
Cross the road, Jack.
Wherever your holiday travels take you this year, be it over the river, through the woods, or even through white and drifted snow, make your first destination a Goodyear retailer, where you'll find some of the biggest savings of the year on a wide selection of Goodyear all-season and steel-belted radials. During Goodyear's Sale of the Season, it's your chance to save on quality Goodyear tires through November 25th at all participating Goodyear retail locations. Nobody fits you like Goodyear.
That is the Griffith Park Observatory up behind Los Feliz. Fresno State was defeated today by New Mexico, so there are only 3 unbeatens now in 1A. Notre Dame, Alabama, Colorado. Trojans ball. First down, their own 29-yard line, and it's Leroy Holt for about 3 yards. Craig Davis, another tackle for UCLA. Had a big ball game.
Davis leads the team in tackles. In fact, is third in the Pac-10 in tackles.
6 minutes to go, third quarter. You sort of get a feeling that Southern California, any time now, is going to put on one. Just going to hitch up their britches and stick it in the end zone.
It's frustrating to come out and play so poorly against a team that everybody else seems to run against, and when you have so many injuries on defense. But UCLA has got it going.
This is Irvins. Oh, look at that move. That's a first down for Southern California. The ball moved all the way out to the 49-yard line. That's a good run by Ricky Irvin. Well, tonight, Mr. Belvedere stars in his own home video, The Housekeeper from Hell. Say what? And following Living Dolls, Burt Reynolds and the season premiere of V.L. Stryker on the ABC Saturday Mystery. All tonight, here on ABC. There's your option. Marinovich keeps it. And he's brought down by Craig Davis and number 91, Brian Lockwood.
Well, he's not pretty running it, but he gets it done and gets it done in pretty good shape. The reason Larry Smith likes to have the option in is because the first question he asks in preparation for an opponent is, does that team run the option? It is so tough to defense from your own team defensively that he wants to have it in to force the teams that he plays to worry about it all week also.
is intercepted. That's 3 of them today. And it's picked off for the second time by Eric Turner. Another turnover. And the beat goes on.
He just overthrows. He's trying to get it to the tight end. Here's Galbraith right here, 86, who will release inside and come across. Turner, the safety, will see it, and he'll pick it off. And the linebacker will have pretty good coverage going across the field. Right there, Argo has to throw it over Argo 41, and Turner makes the interception. Just a poor throw. Here you see the tight end releasing inside. Argo in front of him, gets back and forces the high throw. You cannot overthrow down the middle of the field. It's a certain interception.
UCLA from the 39, trailing 10-7 now. Pitch to Kevin Williams. It's a bad pitch again. Johnson comes back and picks it up and runs up the sidelines. I don't know who's at fault on that. I really don't know. It's obviously one of them is making a mistake because that's about the 4th time the ball's been dropped.
The throw was right in front of the tailback. He obviously is not looking at the ball, Keith. He is looking ahead to see where the blocking is and where the holes are going to be. As a tailback catching a toss, you have to catch it first and then run. That's one of the problems. Tossing the ball, you have to take your eyes off the defense. If you hand it to him, then the quarterback is responsible to get the ball to him. But if you toss it, the back has got to catch it first.
That's right, but he's back there a good 8, 9, 10 yards from those guys at that particular point.
Couldn't be the quarterback.
His coach didn't enjoy it, I'll tell you that. 4:12 to go, 3rd quarter. Timeout.
Delta Airlines flight attendant Irene Luckwitty loves to fly.
Are you still here?
My son was supposed to meet me.
Well, I'll wait with you.
That kid is always late.
What she loves most are the people she meets.
He must have got caught in the rain.
He was even born late.
Ma.
Irene is what Delta's all about.
Irene.
Yes?
Are you married?
Yep. 2 kids.
Late again, Joey.
You love to fly and it shows.
This is something different. The body panels will never rust. The seats can be arranged to seat up to 7. And ask yourself, have you ever traveled like this before? Meet the new Family Lumina APV. When it comes to new ideas for the family, nobody's winning like.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
Hi, I'm Dick Vitale. The defending national champ Michigan takes on Arizona in the Hall of Fame Tip-Off Classic, live next Saturday on ABC's College Basketball.
Go back to that last play where the ball was rolling around.
Watch the tailback. He doesn't even see the ball, not even looking for it. He either thought that Johnson, he obviously had to think he checked off. He wasn't getting the play, or maybe he checked to that play. He missed the checkoff either one way or the other, and wasn't even looking for the pitch. That is scary, and that's a problem when you play redshirt freshman. He's new this year. It's his first year playing the tailback, Williams.
He's out of there, too. Brian Brown is in right now. Pressure coming, penalty flag thrown underneath. Pass is caught, but let's see about the flag. The ball is marked at the 36-yard line. It's against UCLA procedure. Let's check in with Roger Twyman.
Thank you very much, Keith. Jeff George has thrown 5 touchdown passes for Illinois, but for Indiana, Anthony Thompson on a 4th and 2. He goes 20 yards for the touchdown, the 65th of his illustrious career, and he is now the NCAA all-time leading scorer, passing 2 place kickers. Illinois leads it in the 3rd. Let's go back to Keith Jackson.
There's still some doubt in that one, isn't there?
You know, Tony Bowles played at Indiana in that system and got the carries that Anthony Thompson got.
Yeah, 50, somewhere between 1,800 and 2,500 yards.
Yeah, when you play for Bo, you take your turn. You just don't carry the ball. It sits you down some, too.
Give Anthony Thompson credit. Boy,
That's true.
He's a tough guy.
It's not taking anything away from him.
3rd down and 13. Johnson rolls out, turns it up, and no place to go. Good night. Junior Seau and company.
Seau came into the ball game with 9 sacks in his last 3 games.
You got a flag.
That's against UCLA.
Against UCLA.
And you have another flag. Somebody's mouthing off down there, saying something. Unsportsmanlike conduct on UCLA. That's either language, cursing, or saying something about the other team.
Well, there are days when the tongue do get heavy. And if the man walking around listening has a striped shirt on and a yellow flag in his pocket.
The use of hands offense is refused. Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct against the offense will be accepted. 4th down.
What that means is you're going to back up, and then you're going to have to kick the ball, and you're going to just give the other folks good field position. And so at this particular juncture, you've just watched Park Place and Boardwalk go in the tank. They have been picked up.
All that real estate,
by the
right?
creditor, yeah. Kurt Maggio, though, can hit some howitzers. Having a great season. Just under 46 per. His long 72 yards. The pace of the game has slowed down, and the reason for that's very simple. It's been a very hot day in Los Angeles. Over 90 down on the floor of the Coliseum, despite the fact that they're playing on grass.
This could be trouble here. Southern Cal is one of the top teams in the Pac-10 in returning punts.
Second time, though, they've had 10 of them up there. That looks like they're going after Maggio rather than a return, because they ought to get decent position out of it. And they do force a poor kick, but he gets a great roll. Larry Wallace back all the way to his 28 and down on the 30. My gosh, that's good coverage for the Bruins.
And Maggio has really kept him in the ballgame with his kicks.
Yes, he has. Jack Arute, you're up.
Keith, you know, this 16 miles that separates the Westwood campus of UCLA to the LA Coliseum and the USC campus can be somewhat long if you're driving on the freeways. If you take the limo, it'll cost you $81. If you take a taxi, it'll cost you $26. But if you take the bus, here's how you go. You start in Westwood, catch eastbound bus 560, transfer off at Hillgard and Sunset to northbound bus number 2. That takes you up through here. Get another transfer to southbound bus 200, and that'll take you all the way down in here for $1.35.
All right. Yeah, but you'll have to buy 2 because you need a cartographer just to help you get there.
A cartographer?
Isn't that what you call a map man?
A map man is a cartographer.
I don't know.
Never know what you're going to learn on these broadcasts.
36-yard line, that gain by Ricky Urbans.
Last week I learned when the rabbit went over the hill, the sun is going down.
Rabbits can tell when it's supper time. 2nd down and 4. Here comes Ricky again. Now they're starting to pound on him. Fourth quarter, UCLA defensive people are just going to be absolutely whooped.
Well, you would think that because they've only got one defensive line in the whole time. And a hot day like this, normally they'll rotate the front 2 lines.
Well, Patton and Argo and Davis and Keaton have all been almost the linemen themselves in this. Ricky Urbans, incidentally, on his 17th carry has just reached 100 yards on the day, and we've got a holding call. I didn't see the flag. I guess it was dropped down there along the sideline, and they're going to march him back now. That's Davis accepting the penalty for UCLA. And that's going to wipe out the 100-yard total for Ricky Urbans. Drop him back to 94.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards, replay, second down.
You know, UCLA had its remarkable string of bowl games, 8 consecutive bowl games, 7 consecutive wins, which is a record. But, I mean, that was gone 3 weeks ago. In fact, it's kind of a lean year in a way, I think, for the Pac-10 and bowls. They just don't have many folks going.
It's a tough conference, and, you know, when you get into your conference schedule, this year everybody has been beating everybody else.
Whistles all over town here, stopping things before it gets started, which again goes back to the original point that an independent has a much greater chance to
down
win.
is 2, second down.
Well,
than a conference team, because in a conference you're going into snake pits. There are folks that don't like you from 1939 yet.
That's for sure. Upsets are there every week.
Second down and 14. Irvins. See, when you get a little tired, you reach the man, you get your arms on the man, but you can't wrap him, and he just keeps running out of grasps.
Well, you just don't tackle well. That's what you're saying. These guys are tough to tackle anyway, Irvins and Holt. But look at the 2 inside linebackers, Argo and Davis. They're blocked initially. Get off their block, that's an arm tackle.
Yep.
Irvins just runs right through that. He'd already run through a couple of other ones at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, it's third down and 2. He's going again. And when you see the old Trojan tailback doing this, I never forget the question put to John McKay about O.J. carried it so many times, and John said, why? He don't belong to a union. It ain't heavy. We'll pause 5 seconds here to allow our ABC stations to identify themselves.
WPBI-TV Philadelphia, serving New Jersey and Delaware.
1:20 to go in the third quarter, and Southern California trying to pound out a drive here now. They lead by 3, 10-7.
What you're seeing with Marinovich throwing 3 interceptions is Southern Cal going back to their running game.
Pops it up on first down and throws it poorly over the head of Gary Wellman. John Elway. Broncos are going east to meet the Washington Redskins. They have the best record in the AFC, the Broncos do. Redskins got a big win last week. They've got some work to do if they're still going to stay in the hunt of the NFC East. It starts at 9 Eastern Time, 6 Pacific.
How do you figure the Redskins losing to Dallas the week before and then going to Philadelphia and beating the Eagles?
Well, this is Leroy Holt pounding away with the ball for about 3 yards. The Eagles haven't done a whole lot lately because they're all beat up. I mean, Keith Jackson has been in there for effectively for a while. And he's a key man, I think, in the way Randall Cunningham likes to work his passing.
It's a little bit different, too, when you're expected to be at the top of the hill. Yep. Everybody's gunning for you.
Yep, that's right. Starting to get cold now too, you know, and that enlarges the little dings a little bit, makes them a little more obvious. Third down and 6. Ball's loose. Bruins have it. Meach Shaw, 53. Southern California turnovers, 5.
The option and the tailback, the running back who was pitching it to wasn't even looking. UCLA was in a pressure defense up there, all 11 guys at the line of scrimmage, safety blitz everywhere, put pressure on Marinovich, and he went down, and let's take a look at it from a ground view. He goes right down the line. Jackson was supposed to crack back. Back thought he was going to keep the ball. He threw it at the last minute. Just good defense on the part of UCLA. And a poor play by SC.
Opportunity for the Bruins. First down, Trojan 44. They trail by 3, 10-7. Johnson pitches to Sean Wills. In at tailback. They keep running that same play. And Wills will have a couple of yards. Sean Wills now does not hit in there with the authority of a Kevin Williams. But Kevin Williams has had the ball just simply go past him. He just hadn't caught it.
Right, he missed some checkoffs. That's flatly what he's done. He's missing checkers.
Kind of interesting, too, as we come to the end of the third quarter. UCLA hasn't played a fullback all day. We'll be back for the final quarter after this message and a word from our ABC station. Sean Wills, and Sean Wills is taken down short of the line of scrimmage by Junior Seau, but there is a penalty flag. That may go against the proof. Let's see here. Junior Seau has been playing with a bruised right shoulder since early in the first quarter. He has not been heard from a lot.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, 15 yards, results in a first down.
That's just talking. They're just talking to each other down there. You're not seeing any blows or anything, but just that's language. Larry Smith doesn't like it. Terry Donahue doesn't like it on the other side, and well, it's boys being boys.
Well,
wiped out a nice defensive play by Southern Cal.
You're ranked number 8 in the country. You clinched the Rose Bowl and your conference championship. And you're playing a team from across town that's 3-7. You ought to keep your mouth shut, because you're only leading by 3 points in the fourth quarter. You ought to keep your mouth shut. First down for the Bruins. Ryan Brown is the remaining back as Farr goes in motion. Brett Johnson gives it to Brown. And Brian gets to the 32, and there he stops for a yard pickup. And here's Roger Quibble.
Thank you very much, Keith. As you mentioned, top-ranked Notre Dame beats Penn State. This was a big play. Ricky Waters in the second quarter, 12-yard touchdown run, put them up 14-10. The go-ahead score, they never trailed after that. Tony Rice also had 2 touchdowns. Now back to Keith Jackson.
Right here, UCLA trying to manifest something. Sean Wills is back now on second down and 9 at the running back position. Brett Johnson gets his pass away to the sidelines, and there's nobody there except ineligible receivers. That is, folks standing off the field of play. He was expecting somebody to be in that area, obviously, because he never looked. He didn't have time.
It's like a tight end screen or something over there. Take a look at the pressure on the quarterback. There's Seau, number 55. Quarterback rolls toward him. He just goes ahead and attacks. You know, we showed you a little earlier about UCLA having trouble scoring a touchdown in the last 3 games. Brett Johnson, the quarterback, has had greater problems than that. The last 6 games that he has played, they've had no second-half touchdown.
Third down and 9. This was a big opportunity for him, too, right here. Johnson buys a little time, throws it out, throws it up for grabs. And it is incomplete. The intended receiver was Mike Farr, and Farr had to turn into a defensive back to keep Stephon Pace from intercepting it. And in the meantime, there is another penalty.
You're right, Keith. He did just throw that ball up for grabs. It's lucky it wasn't intercepted.
Ineligible man downfield. That's a loss of down, and they're looking at 4th and 9.
Terry Donahue, and to the right there is quarterback coach Rick Neuheisel.
One of the better offensive linemen in a beleaguered offensive front for UCLA, Rick Meyer, is out of there right now, and Mike Lynn, a freshman from Yorba Linda, is in doing the work for him. That leaves Frank Cornish as
ineligible receiver downfield on the offense is refused. 4th down.
So that leaves Frank Cornish as the only one of seasoned ability up front.
And that has been one of the problem areas this year for UCLA. They had 4 returning starters from last year in that offensive line, but the offensive line just has not produced. We mentioned earlier they're second last in the league in rushing.
Velasco is out here for a man-sized field goal try of 49 yards, trying to tie it up. He's got to kill it. He did. It's good.
Bucket!
49-yarder by Alfredo Velasco. with 13 minutes and 43 seconds to play in the ball game. We're tied at 10.
Getting to know.
In the 80s, Honda became known for its reliable, feature-filled cars.
You ready, Dad?
I love this car.
But today, the 90s begin with the new Geo Prism. The quality sedan with 16-valve performance, Prism is designed for years of carefree driving. With
out for the 20. Well, would you say, Mr. Greasy, that it's a gut check time for the favored team?
Donahue told us that he wanted to get into the fourth quarter with a chance to win. He has done that. The gut check comes with the team wearing the red jerseys because they have got to do something to move the ball down the field and score. They have not done anything in their last 2 possessions. In fact, second half, in 3 possessions, they've had a punt, an interception, and a fumble.
Well, you can read it yourself. It's what's been happening with the Bruins. And the crowd now, both sides, very much into this ball game. This is Ricky Irvin, the Southern California, from the 20 to the 26. But the advantage here clearly belongs, I would think, to Southern California, because UCLA, and I'll say it one more time, and I think maybe the last time I shall say it, they are very thin. They have so many people hurt. The second line across the defensive front of Brigida, Farr, and Whalen, all 3 of those people elevated from the scout team this week. That should clearly explain the circumstance. Here goes Irvins again for a first down. Just over the 30.
To look at the second half possessions for Southern Cal, they took 10 plays on their first possession but had to punt. Then they turned it over twice.
What would you do here, Bob? Just pound on them?
Well, emotionally, UCLA has the advantage. Offensively, they have to forget about the first 3 quarters and say, hey, we're a good ball club. Coming in, you're a pretty good offense.
This is Ricky Irvin. Again, no wrap.
They have to run the ball, Keith, at this point, because that's where their confidence is. Marinovich has thrown 3 interceptions, and I think they ought to get him outside the pocket also. Anytime a quarterback is having trouble in the pocket, they ought to get him outside of it.
But here's your situation on that carry right up the middle. I mean, right up the pipe. Ricky Irvins picked up 7 yards. He literally ran right through Craig Davis.
You take that all day.
There he goes again. That'll be a first down at the UCLA 46-yard line. Eric Turner finally brought him down.
And it's just straight blocking by that big USC offensive line. Leggett and Tucker and Parkinson in the middle did a nice job.
22 carries for Ricky Irvins, 143 yards.
Well, he leads the Pac-10 in rushing coming into the ball game, and I don't think he's going to give it up afterwards.
One more time. Argo was on top. And Rosine Keaton was on the bottom. I understand the winner of that game, and it looks like it'll be Washington, will get a Freedom Bowl bid. Michigan State may very well wind up in the Aloha Bowl, which we'll have for you Christmas Day. Emmanuel is now the tailback as they give Ricky Irvins a little rest, and Marinovich to throw it. Waited and waited and waited and finally throws it to Emmanuel. Oh, it was Irvin. Oh, I see what he did. He put Emmanuel in at the fullback position and left Irvins in the game. I thought it was almost automatic that he would take Irvins out to get a breath of air, but he didn't. He put Emmanuel in there as the fullback.
Well, Emmanuel's big enough to play fullback.
Well, that's been his position.
Yeah.
That's really his currently assigned position to back up Holt. Holt comes back. Ball's loose. And recovered by the Trojans. Meach Shaw came flying up the middle. Knocked the ball loose, but the Trojans recovered.
Well, here's Shaw right here. Now watch, as the center blocks this way, the guard blocks this way, and nobody is on Meach Shaw right up the gut. If anything, the back should got in there and blocked him, either Holt or one of the offensive linemen. But this is a big fumble, and SC is lucky to get the ball back.
And so the Bruin defense one more time forces Southern California to kick it away. Very good kick. And a fair catch call back around the 14-yard line by Mike Farr. Time now. Estwick is in the game for the first time. They go to the I formation. They've got a bona fide fullback in for the first time today. Brian Brown to about the 16. The UCLA offensive front just simply does not have much pop coming off the ball, does it?
Well, they didn't expect to. As we've mentioned, SC is the number 4 in total defense in the country and best against the run in the country. And UCLA has got to be pleased with where they are in this ball game. They're just looking for a mistake. They don't want to make any mistakes, and obviously SC is trying to force one.
Johnson, Sayal got him and got him to put a knee down trying to escape.
Here's Sayal. He came into the ball game as the leading sacker and tackle for loss leader in the conference. Just gets around the tackle and takes him down. He came in with 22 tackles for loss, 16 sacks, 2 fumble recovers, 2 forced fumbles, and an interception.
And now it is third down and about 11. Sean Wills is the lone remaining back. And they put him in motion, which effectively gives him 5 wideouts, and he runs his quarterback draw. And depends on the mark. Don't think so.
Johnson made some pretty nice moves to get as far as he did. Quarterback draw.
Yard short. Marcus Hopkins stopped him a yard short of his first down.
One of the biggest weapons for Donahue today has been his punter, Maggio.
Who's on the field right now.
He's coming out now.
Time remaining 7.5 minutes. Wallace is standing back inside his 35. Offense. Delay of game against UCLA. Well, they might have been trying to throw him off.
I don't
know for what purpose.
Yeah, I think they just got messed up a little bit, and they were
stood there a good 10, 12 seconds. You don't need to be giving up any yards under any guys right now if you're UCLA. It's a 10-10 ball game. You're not supposed to be here at this point in the game.
They're going to try and run this one back.
They got some pressure on it at the low line drive kind of a kick. Wallace from the 40 back to the 45. And so Southern California has good field position for this possession at 7:04. Marinovich dropped on first down, wants to throw, wants to dump it to Irvins, couldn't, has the ball eventually batted down at the line of scrimmage. And a penalty flag. Might be a hold here. Might be a hold. Oh, nope. Got an ineligible man downfield.
SC in the 80s. Last 2 games of the season, they are 6-12. Rest of the time, they're pretty good. Reminds me of last year when they lost their final game of the year to Notre Dame here at the Coliseum and then went on to lose the Rose Bowl.
illegal touching on the offense is 5 yards and loss of down. The pass hit an ineligible receiver.
Pass hit one of the linemen.
That's right. Threw it to the lineman.
Tucker hit him in the back.
I wasn't so sure it wasn't deflected. No, it wasn't.
Well, I thought
there was a receiver, and Tucker got in between he and the receiver.
Yep. I thought Lodish might have had a hand on it.
Well, he was trying to go to Galbraith, but
here goes Irvins, and he has to break his stride at the 40 and could not recover, and he's taken down very quickly by Meach Shaw and Craig Davis.
Well, you got to give some credit to UCLA defensively. Bob Field, their defensive coordinator, and those guys that we mentioned, they're banged up. They only have 3 outside linebackers coming into the ball game. Patton's got a bad ankle. Davis has been hurt. Lodish and Pryor have both been hurt in this ball game. They continue to play and shut down SC's offense.
I think they have been spectacular.
No question about it.
3rd and 14. Pressure on Marinovich. He throws, and because of the pressure, he had to step out of his stance, and he threw the ball high. Marcus Patton was the man that made the play for the UCLA defense.
Marinovich, the second half.
1 for 7.
1 for 7 and 12 for 27 for the entire ball game with 154 yards, 3 interceptions, and a touchdown. So not one of his better days.
Time remaining, 6:13. Mike Farr's deep, number 9. Preston will punt. Mike's looking up into a bright sun, high sky. Not a very good kick, but it may take a favorable bounce, and does. Farr had to pick it up and brings it back to about the 20 and penalty flag. Ball thrown back up around the 25, 26-yard line.
The illegal use of the hands against the receiving team, 10 yards, 1st and 10.
So at least it's 1st and 10, not 1st and 20. And you've got 6:01 to play in the game in a 10. Expected to be here at this point of the ball game. Sean Wills is the running back. Brett Johnson going swinging out, cuts back, big guys after him. They're going to eat him up at the 8-yard line. The next week after the Ohio State-Michigan football game at Ann Arbor, which will be at 12 Eastern time, which will decide the Rose Bowl assignment. So Ohio State's still in it. Will come with Michigan, Arizona. Lou Dolson taking his Wildcats back against Steve Fisher's defending national champion, collegiate basketball at the Springfield, Mass Hall of Fame Classic.
The Michigan doubleheader.
Yep. 2nd down and 3 for UCLA. Oh, my goodness. When it goes bad, it goes bad.
Delay a game, offense half the distance, still 2nd down.
Well, the problem here is Johnson, the quarterback, is looking into a very bright sun. You can see the long shadows. The 25-second clock is at the other end of the field. No way he can even see it. It's the first thing a quarterback will do. There you see him looking down. He's got to look straight down all the way down there to see it, and the sun is so bright that normally a quarterback can come out and glance and know how much time he's got. You can't see it up there.
Oh, I'm telling you, you defend quarterbacks.
It's just I've been there. I know what the problem is.
That's the 16th penalty in the ball game on both teams. Brett Johnson out of his end zone. Lets it go. Intercepted. Oh, what a play by Mark Carrier. Corwin Anthony was almost out there all by himself. Mark Carrier was the only guy that had a chance to make a play, and he made it.
Carrier has been outstanding. Number 7 to the left, bottom of your screen. He's going to roll out at the last minute. The tight end is behind him. He just doesn't get it out there far enough. You see Carrier turn, find the ball, intercept it. It's his 3rd takeaway of the day. He has 2 fumble recoveries. This one is an interception, and this is a big play. A turnover usually decides the ball game. That's a big play by an outstanding player. All-American safety last year.
Your game decision might be at hand right here. Yeah. 4 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the game. The ball is at the UCLA 45. Ricky Irvins running right up the middle and down to about the 38-yard line. That's a 7-yard pickup.
Well, you go with your strength. Your defense is the strength of the ball club. They got you the turnover. Now you go to your running back. Irvin's over 135, 40 yards on the day. Marinovich is not having a good day. You got to go with the running game. You got to mix it up a little bit, but the first thing you do is see if you can run it.
Second down, 3. That's the first down at the UCLA 33. At the conclusion of today's game, we will select Chevrolet's most valuable players from each team. 19th year that Chevrolet had its scholarship program, donating $1,000 to the general scholarship fund of each school. The last time this game ended in a tie was 1971. We noted 7-7. Pepper Rogers and John McKay were the coaches. Long time. Ricky Irvins slapped down at the line of scrimmage. And you could hear that pop in Hawthorne. Satupe Tuwala.
You look at how short he is, only 5'8".
Yeah, but you know, Barry Sanders has already got him talking. You know, all of a sudden, every time somebody comes into the NFL and has a little success, he becomes a new prototype, right?
Tailbacks don't have to be taught.
But Barry Sanders is already the new prototype. But the one thing is you can't find him. When you're searching, you've got to go in there and search out amongst all those great big old tall, lanky linemen. So they get back there and hide. That's Argo taking Marinovich down. They are now in the neighborhood for Rodriguez. All the seats were sold today, 92,000 plus, but some didn't come. We wound up with 86,672.
Well, they missed a good ball game, didn't they?
Yes, they did. And they're also sitting at home saying, yeah, we missed a big traffic jam, too. On third down, big play here. Irvin's outside. First down, Trojans, Bruin 15. Oh, what a big run by Ricky Irvin. Somebody threw a whale of a block out there.
That was Tucker, 75, who threw the block for Irvin. Here he is right here. Watch Mark Tucker as he's going to pull around and block the linebacker. Everybody kicks out, and there's a nice hole inside for Irvin. Tucker, number 75. You go with who's hot.
173 yards for Ricky, and the surge is down to the 12. Fumble, UCLA's got the ball. Leroy Holt puffed it up. Keaton covered it. Holy mackerel, it's 2 minutes and 2 seconds to play in a ball game. The Trojans had the thing ready to put inside and lock it up, and they let it get away.
Well, another big play by UCLA defensively. Southern Cal came into the ball game, not lost a fumble in 7 of 10 games, and they only had 3 fumbles. They have 3 fumbles lost today. That's all. That's more than they've lost all year. 3 fumbles all year.
And 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
6 turnovers.
6 turnovers. You can't win ball games turning the ball over that many times.
Johnson throws it as far as he can throw it. It's caught! It is caught by Scott Miller at the 36-yard line of Southern California. Wayne Garner was back there, and Miller, who was a high school teammate of Brett Johnson, pulled it in.
Quarterback again outside the pocket. They've been conservative, close to the vest all day long. Miller, 5 touchdowns on the season. Their big play man, the fastest on the team, makes the catch. Terry Donahue says, I just want to keep it close till the 4th quarter, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to win. He does.
51 yards on the play. Anthony, the tight end, in motion. This is Sean Wills cutting it back. And he is taken down after a 1-yard pickup. Cleveland Coulter was the first man. He finally moved so I could see his number. But he just nailed Wills with a solid tackle. They are in Velasco's range. He has kicked a 53-yarder. He has kicked a 49-yarder today. You got 1 minute, now less. Velasco is warming up.
Neither team is using their timeouts, although now UCLA...
Yeah, but they wasted a lot of time.
They sure did.
Fiddling around. Yeah. I don't know why, but they blew about 10 seconds. They really need all liberal because it's really closer to 10. Southern California 35-yard line, 10-10 tie. UCLA's ball. Brett Johnson rolling out, rolling, keeps it, turns it, gets to the 34. And down he goes with Coulter again making the tackle.
And holding on to the football. He had an opportunity to throw it, but sure, Donahue said if it's not there for sure, don't throw it.
The clock's running. They're taking their sweet time getting back. They've got 1 timeout remaining.
They obviously feel like they're happy with a field goal from this distance.
Look, they're happy to be where they are.
No question about that.
I mean, you talk about wins. You may wind up a 10-10 tie, but that's virtually a win for UCLA. Sean Wills trying to get outside. He ain't going to go anywhere because Cleveland Coulter's going to run him down for a loss. And the clock is running. 3, 2, and they get it stopped.
They almost didn't get it stopped. You know, the thing a quarterback should do before the play is go to the referee and say, right after this play, I'm going to call a timeout. Stay with me.
Of course.
Well, the best Larry Smith can do is come out of this with a tie.
So you got 2 seconds. It's obvious what the Bruins have to try to do now. They've got to try to get Velasco into the ball game. And I want to take a second to wish one of our best, Johnny Morielli, who's been a cameraman for almost 3 decades in ABC sports history. Johnny's down with a bad back partner, and we hope you are ready to go dancing New Year's Eve, because I never saw anybody better in the middle of the floor than Johnny on a New Year's Eve. Bless your heart. I hope you get well soon.
Yes, sir. He lost 3 yards on that one, Keith.
Yes, he did. He lost 3 yards and wasted a lot of time on it. It'll be somewhere around 54, 55 yards. It would be a career long for Alfredo Velasco. But let's get into the mechanics of it now. The man who has to snap it is Bill Page. The man who has to hold it is Kirk Maggio, the punter, number 46. He and Velasco walking out there together. So those 3 people have got to do their thing together. And even though it might be mechanically all right, there is the other element of rhythm, feel, sense.
And distance.
And distance. Yeah. You ain't going to get the distance if you don't have the rhythm or the sense of it.
37, he had 17, would have been 54.
54 yards to win for UCLA. A season maker for the Bruins.
Hit the crossbar.
It hit the crossbar. It was that close. That close. How close? Half a football. That's all. Half a football.
And that last run, when they lost 3 yards, may have cost them the game.
Absolutely. Instead of, if they stay even on the last one and kick it from there, they kick it 50-51. Instead, they run it wide, fiddle around with it, lose 3, and have to go from 54, and they fail by this much.
A lot of close plays in this ball game, but there were none closer than that one.
Larry Smith cheered it.
You could tell he wanted to cheer, but then he realized, no, it's not a win.
Velasco begging it. The holder begging it. No. I came. I tried. Oh, yes.